you're looking to take over, what you do is you start with your friends, you start with your family, you start with the clique. And ladies and gentlemen, here tonight, live from Casa de Money, it's Freebird rules, all hands on deck for a blockbuster Thanksgiving Eve's edition of the most prolific, uncensored, unfiltered sports podcast around. On the Money Podcast, live on location here in the epicenter of Nostalgia Mania. It is Irrational alongside none other than Mike D.
What up, everybody?
And Oscar O Money.
What's going on here?
And here tonight, we are here to break down everything that is going on in the world of sports, more specifically fantasy football, as we approach the trade deadline for all fantasy football leagues, whether it's the 29th, whether it's the 1st, however your league runs it. We'll talk about some trades that actually went down. We'll talk about potentially some live trades that could go down based on who old money just dropped on the trade block before we went live. And we'll also talk about some reality football, because not for nothing, we got 3 games tomorrow, 1 game on Friday, and then a full slate of football action on Sunday with major playoff implications on top of everything that we just witnessed from this past week, including more injuries to more freaking running backs.
Why can I share it?
Which is absolutely insane. Yeah, it was hard to find at first when I went on Oscar's page.
It's streaming off of the On the Money Sports Facebook page, the On the Money Sports fan forum, and the On the Money Sports YouTube page, but it's acting weird with the YouTube right now. Okay.
Like, as far as like it actually.
Julio! What up, bro? Do not see it right now. Yeah, that's Julio.
Yeah, and then we have the whole thing with the Facebook user.
That was a funny thing
last week that we were.
So I'm gonna probably say this a ton tonight because to keep everybody informed. The only way your name will pop up on the comments is if you go and agree to the thing. Restream, you have to be given permissions from Restream. So until then, you are Facebook user.
It's like when basically you open up a new app and your phone is asking you to allow the notifications to push pretty much. So that's what it's asking. And most times people may or may not want to do that. So I totally understand.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to remain anonymous on there, but we still know who you are when we go live and look in the comment section on here. And we're still going to shout out all the comments as we go back and forth.
Knowing our guys, we'll probably be able to tell who you are just from the comment
based
alone.
on how you speak, we'll be able to identify who you are. That kind of was happening last week. We had some good basketball talk and football talk last week. This week, we got Mike D in the building because it is a very, very, very crucial point in the season. We still have plenty of regular season football left, so I'm very happy about that. However, the fantasy football season is getting to the nitty-gritty. We've got 3 fantasy weeks left before it is fantasy playoffs.
You can ring the bell.
The trades.
On the former.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. Yeah, it's crazy because
I just want to say that I tried. It was just tough this year, and I really haven't had a lot of fun this year. Along the way, I've lost my smile. And I need that. And so, therefore, after losing my smile, I'm also going to lose my championship in On the Money Sports.
The On the Money
Sports
Championship.
There will be a new victor because neither finalist from last season is making it to the playoffs, let alone the championship.
Gabe is mathematically not eliminated, but you know,
he's eliminated.
He's having a rough time right now with that roster. Losing Joey B was a tough one for his squad. Of course, we're talking about the Pioneer 2 quarterback league, the On the Money Sports 2 QB league, my home league, the league that Oscar won last year when he came downstairs on draft day with all the feathers around his neck, using the belt like a guitar, with the Hulk Hogan theme song, all the pomp and circumstance from draft day. And now Oscar is legitimately the very worst.
To the playoffs there?
6. So it's still the old school format. So Mikey, you got some work
I'm
to
alive.
do.
I'm alive, though.
You're alive.
I'm alive.
You're alive. But this is a 6 playoff format with 2 bye weeks. Each of the division leaders will get a bye week. Everybody else will be playing on wild card weekend. That everybody else includes me because Alexi and I are in the same division. Alexi has me by 2 games right now at 10-1, and I'm at 8-3, and we both clinched the playoff spot. And I'm expecting for the guys in the other division who are sitting at 6-4 right now to potentially clinch a playoff spot, especially if like Gabe loses again, takes himself. You know what
Nick, I hope you're feeling better, bro.
Kenny Pickett sucks.
Hope you're feeling better, man.
Yeah, Dito.
RJ's checked in.
It's hard times.
It's definitely hard times, and we're gonna try to navigate through some of the slums of
Kenny
these
Pickett
hard
sucks,
times.
but there's a W underneath his belt for beating the Packers.
Well, if Kenny Pickett isn't throwing the ball downfield this Sunday, you won't be able to blame Matt Canada this time. You know that it's more than just a Matt Canada issue. And, of course, with the play calling and this, that, and the third. But Kenny Pickett is sitting on a lot of waiver wires right now because if you're actually trying to win in fantasy football right now, you need a quarterback that's going to be able to get you more than 6 points. And, it's been rough sledding for a lot of guys. Hell, if MVS catches the freaking touchdown throw from Patrick Mahomes, we're talking about Patrick Mahomes owners saying, damn, Pat Mahomes gave me a Pat Mahomes-like.
Yep.
That was a bonus play game. That was a bonus play, too.
Yeah, it was at least
Absolutely.
60 yards, I want to say. So, yeah, it would have been big.
Thanks a lot, MVS.
It's crazy, bro.
And they were
It's crazy
definitely.
how everybody's just dropping the ball on that team. Like, literally dropping the ball. Like, it's literally
26 drop passes.
Leads the NFL.
Well,
It's crazy.
I heard they had Jarvis Landry in for a visit.
Jarvis Landry.
What's he gonna do?
I mean,
That's a very Chiefs type of thing to do, though. Like,
it's all they got.
go get a fucking.
Yeah, it's a better option than fucking.
Just go get a slot guy and interview him. Hardman got hurt, so he's out of the picture.
Yeah, something with his thumb.
To me,
I went to bed at halftime in that game. I seen
DeVito over Pickett.
oh man, yo, we're gonna talk.
I'm not gonna entertain that. I'm not
We're
gonna
talk about
that.
it all. Don't worry, we'll get to him because I want to. We got this guy in the building, so I want to ask him how he feels about him. But we'll work our way through. There's definitely a lot to cover tonight. We're gonna be mixing fantasy and reality. Shout out to the guys for checking in. We're gonna be doing a new little segment that I've got going on right now since we're in the heart of the fantasy season where I'm going to be doing it's either a no sweat start or a high risk gamble.
Damn, that was even RJ that posted. That was Julio.
I know, yeah.
For week 12, depending on, where you are as far as your league and your actual matchups.
Trade.
Noli just pushed the trade apparently that I made a couple of minutes ago before we went live. When
biggest
I was
fleece in East Coast this year.
No.
Biggest fleece in East Coast.
Stop it. Before I met up with Mike D, I was at home and I was sent an offer. It was James Cook and Stephon Diggs.
What up, Aaron?
For Devon A-Chain and Jamar Chase. And I hit accept. I'm 5-6 in that league right now. And I also am one of those owners of Justin Jefferson who I have him on the IR. And after the comments that he made this past week, I think I'm probably going to have him on the IR for the next couple of weeks. So it's been one of those cases where in that league, I actually held on to Jefferson, and I've just been trying to figure out how to navigate without him pretty much.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I got Jefferson in a few leagues, too.
Nick said he's already made the playoffs at 8 of 9.
Damn, that's good shit to know already. I've made it in 2 out of 12. One,
I'm 100%
I'm out for sure.
in True Legends.
Yeah, you
everywhere
clinched.
else, I'm in the
True
fringe.
Legends. You're on the border.
Trying to eliminate 8, 9, and 10, whoever that may be.
Well,
Where?
it's what
In True
league?
Legends.
In True Legends. Well, True Legends right now. What, Merc?
A 5 or 6 in True Legends.
So you're still in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
Worst day Pickett picked up over Zach Wilson. Yeah,
Well,
Jefferson.
if the playoffs started
after
today, I'd
fantasy.
play you.
Huh?
If the playoffs started today, it'd be me and you. True
So
Legends.
the Vikings are going to be without Justin
Listen.
Jefferson for their Monday night showdown with the Chicago Bears.
That's crazy. He's still not ready.
Who?
And they're fighting for their playoff.
And they also have their
6 and 5.
They have their bye week after that. So if you're sitting with Jefferson on your roster,
He better be back after the bye.
That's what I'm assuming. I mean, as a
Maybe
Jefferson
you're just
owner,
saving him for one more week.
Yeah, listen, man, I get where he's coming from.
Because
I
if
don't
they're going
have
to try
no
to make the
problem with
playoff
him
push.
coming out and saying what he said the other day about not caring about people's fantasy teams. And
I
stuff
thought
like
it was
that.
funny that he said
Yo,
it.
I can't
Yeah, I thought it was
believe
hilarious. I think it's great.
It's
Honestly.
2023 and people are still inboxing players and
It's
complaining.
ridiculous, man. It really
Bro,
is ridiculous.
go get laid.
What do you like?
Listen, man, nobody wants to win in their fantasy league more than I do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like every other Tom, Dick, and Harry when it comes to fantasy football and how
I can rest assure you, they have no idea who Oscar is.
Right.
No idea who Mike here
Right. Like, he doesn't give a shit, man. Like you say,
He
don't
has somebody
care. Like,
reading him, the messages.
it's just
most likely.
ridiculous what they kind of like what they go through and shit.
And
Be
people
100%, bro. Be
I mean,
100% when you come back.
Only
JJ,
Kenneth
and just ball
Gainwell,
out.
answers his phone at halftime.
Yeah, I am not one of those people that is messaging Justin Jefferson because at the end of the day, I'm a competitor. And also, I traded him away in a couple of leagues too. So it was one of those things where it was out of sight, out of mind, didn't have to worry about it. If you remember,
He was the number one pick in a lot of people's leagues.
Yeah,
He
dude.
was the number one of the two,
Yeah.
three at
Especially
worst.
if you're one QB leagues. I mean, in the 2 QB league, he was number one overall.
In most 2 QB leagues, yeah.
He's still, first round in those leagues. I know in your league, the quarterback started coming off of the board first, but then you were the one that kind
I
of broke
took
the mold,
Jefferson.
and
I
you
took
went
Jefferson.
you went Jetta, and
I should have went McCaffrey.
sort of created like that
Really?
pivot. Yeah, looking at
He's
it
the
now,
bona fide number one fantasy player right now. So
yeah, it's crazy to say now. Learning from what we thought we knew in the beginning of the year.
most of us stay away from McCaffrey
gets
because he
hurt. I
gets
don't.
hurt. But like,
I don't stay away.
What
From
up?
Pops,
Miguel?
what up, man? Julio, how
What
do
up,
you feel
Miguel?
about Timmy Boyle? The word on the street is that Timmy Boyle can spin it.
Timmy
So
Boyle's getting the start. Timmy Boyle's getting the start. Okay, Jake Browning's getting the start. These are the facts of
Right.
Week 12 that we're facing. Timmy Boyle, Desmond Ritter is making his illustrious comeback to the Atlanta Falcons.
There's been like
So it's a
15
who's
backup
who.
QBs.
I read Ritter's the starter for the rest of the year.
It's a who's who.
Well,
Yeah,
something's wrong with Heineke, so he's pretty banged up. He's hurt.
and Lattimore is probably not going to play.
Yeah,
this
RJ,
week.
I already brought it up before we even went live. It's okay. We can talk about
How
it.
bad is it?
Dude, I mean, I'm down by 200 points as we speak.
We're talking
Okay,
about
it's like 260 to 60 points to my 60 points.
shout out to Supreme Baller Society as
Yeah, shout out to
we're
the
mixing it all in right now. We're mixing it all in. It's
Yeah,
it's
but,
podcast night.
I was
You know
telling the
what we
guys in
do.
the Supreme chat, like, I never like starting guys on Monday because when I start the guys on Monday, they don't do shit. And when I don't start them on Monday, they go off. Hence, LaMelo.
Is it the equivalent of a Thursday night football start
In
lot
a
of
in a
cases?
sense, like Thursday nights, we all, especially the last couple of years, a lot of people tend to avoid it because they're just so ugly. And that's how I kind of feel about Monday night games when I start players on Monday night. But again, when I don't start guys like LaMelo Ball who puts up 60 and I don't start him,
Ugh.
or Sabonis who put up 49. and I don't start him.
260.
Even the kid
268.
from Houston, I can't even pronounce his name. Sengun or
Sengun.
That kid, he put up like 39 or 40 points. I didn't start him.
Balls.
So
I
you know.
started a cat that got me 15 on Monday. So
Yeah, no, I had
I get what you're
30
saying.
points to RJ's like 120 on Monday night.
yeah.
Guys, we used the sleeper app for fantasy basketball.
Yes.
Monday night is the first day of the week for us to start accumulating
It's a new
points.
week. It's week
I
4.
gave up. There
It's
was
week
not. I
4.
went to my lineup Tuesday morning to see if there was something I could adjust. There was literally nothing I could do to switch around to try and keep up with RJ at this point. Tatum putting up almost 80 points on me was killer.
So there's no lineup you can set that could potentially combat the damage.
Nah, man, and not having Jamal Murray kind of hurts too. But
I know
Hawkins
my
has
boy
been
Drew
balling.
thought he had that W last week on me.
I thought he had the W on you. That's tough, bro. I was hyping him up and me up because I'm 2-1-1. I overcame the whole tie thing, and I ended up losing the next week. I was in shambles after the tie, but I ended up,
You tie every year, right? I think you've had a tie every year.
freaking year, bro. Like, what the hell? What is a tie? bro? Like,
It's
how does that
insane.
even happen? What are the odds that we pick the exact
You
same
know what?
amount?
And I meant to do that this year, but there is something I got to change something in the points, like just a slight change to where ties.
But my
don't
whole thing
happen.
is like, how does it like? It's so we're literally two different people playing against each other, picking different days to start these players. How the hell do we wind up with the exact same score?
I don't know.
Like,
I mean, the odds of that
You
are
shut
really.
the kitchen door, right?
Kitchen door?
I want to say I did. That was the last
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
I would have heard
Oh,
that.
Minka about to make a run in?
That's what I'm worried.
He'll knock over the laptop. And shit.
That's what I'm worried about.
We'll have to cut it short this week, folks. We got to go.
We'll be back.
Minka Fitzpatrick Muniz is a monster.
So the way you feel is potentially how some people will feel after tomorrow and Friday because of the list of A-list superstars that are going to be playing in the next 2 days as far as fantasy football. We're talking about the Dolphins stack. We're talking about Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, CeeDee Lamb. You know, like
a lot of us are going to know we're going to win by Friday.
Yes.
It's over.
Because there's a lot of us who are going to start people that may or may not do something. You know, but I think at this point in time, you know your teams well enough to know that you can't Gabe Davis your way into the playoffs because he went out there.
Yo, Alex put another Gabe Davis 2 weeks in a row with 0 points, right?
Freaking insane! Like, how does that happen, bro? Like,
that's why I want to know how this guy's ever going to get another contract.
Nah, I don't think he will.
Bro,
I mean, he will, but it's like it's not
going to be
big.
big.
It's not going to be
he'll get signed by the Chiefs. Chiefs love shit like that.
The Chiefs need a receiver. I
They
can
need a
promise
receiver.
you.
And they won't go for a high end guy. They'll go for a Gabe Davis. Look at their history. Like, who's their last Tyreek Hill? That was the wide receiver.
I'm starting Charbonnet and True Legends this week. I don't feel good about it, but I got to do it.
I'm trying to get him.
He's the waiver wire ad of the week. He's somebody who I tried to pick up in multiple leagues, but waiver priority cut me out of the loop, and I missed out on him. But what's frustrating is that if you guys were paying attention, we're in a lot of leagues together. Zach Charbonnet was on my roster for most of the year.
He was on my roster. I drafted him in sick picks.
I drafted him in True Legends. Oh, yeah.
Just chilling. I'm chilling for the day that this would happen, which is Kenny Walker getting hurt. And then
what up, Chris? Thank you for tuning in, brother.
Loud Clouds in the building. What's up, Chris?
Loud Clouds.
So 2 weeks ago, I decide, I'll get rid of him. I'll just keep Tajay Spears and I'll drop Charbonnet, whatever. I'll go pick him back up later. Lo and behold, this guy is going to be the running back one for the Seattle Seahawks in their big divisional matchup tomorrow with a big NFC slate tomorrow for Thanksgiving.
I was just going to say that Bosa's out, but that's
Chargers Bosa's out. So, and not for nothing, I get that the San Francisco 49ers are the defense that they are. They're monsters. They're devastating.
They are, man, but they're not unbeatable or they're not juggernauts where you can't have good plays on them and a decent game. Like Seattle can have a good game. It's a divisional matchup, so we know they're always gonna fight. It's gonna be a dogfight, I think.
I just feel as though the amount of work that Zach Charbonnet is actually going to get kind of makes him a matchup-proof type of player. I think he's actually going to make some plays tomorrow to help Seattle keep this competitive.
He's going to have to. Geno Smith is a little banged up. He's going to play, and Geno Smith is super resilient and super tough.
I'm here, and Matt Canada isn't.
Nice one. What up, Rick?
What if Matt Canada gets hired again?
College, he will.
Yeah.
College? Oh, they'll love his scheme in college. The Jets
college.
College, how you do that.
Where'd you learn this at?
I was the offensive coordinator for Ben Roethlisberger. That's what he's going to be. Well, he's going to be strutting and cutting in college, that bro. Was me. He is going to be strutting and cutting in college.
Yeah, I don't see how he gets another NFL job. At least
he'll never get another NFL. He's done.
So Bills fire their OC. Steelers get rid of their OC.
Going to the XFL. That's great.
So based on this trend, if the Chargers were to lose to the Ravens, is Staley one step closer to getting canned? Did you see his promo this past weekend?
Where he says, "I'm the one."
You ask this every week. Like that. I will not stop calling the plays. So you can stop asking that question. All right? Are we clear?
Oh, yo. I'm surprised he didn't pound his hand on the table.
I think the guy's a good defensive coach. He's just not.
Sometimes you're not a good head coach.
I mean, look at Robert Saleh. And the difference between Staley and Saleh is that at least Saleh actually has his defense playing very good defensive ball. You know what I mean?
The Chargers' defense hasn't been bad. I think this blow.
Yeah, but they're giving up almost 10 more points than what the Jets' defense is.
They're not making the playoffs.
Well, because at the start of the year,
it was bad.
The Chargers were you target that defense.
The Chargers would have to play the Jets every week in order to make the playoffs.
Yeah, because but they've actually cleaned some things up as far as the run game, and now with the Bosa injury, I think it kind of
big, man. They got to clean it up as far as penalties, dude. They have a lot of penalties.
They're falling apart. It's been slow and painful, but it's just one of those things now with that injury. And Keenan Allen.
You know what the Chargers remind me of? You remember the Puerto Rican festival where the kid hit the bike or hit the car with his bike?
Oh, and he flipped over.
And he
the car,
flipped over,
and his bike was all messed up.
We asked the kid if he was okay, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm okay, but my bike's not." And when he walked off, the bike was like, "Ear, ear." That's Staley. Staley walking with the Chargers, his bike's a little fucked up. He goes, "I'm okay, but my bike's not."
This dude. Literally, like, he's looking to the side riding his bike and smacks right into the car. And he flips right over the freaking car.
Yo,
like,
Oscar, midair.
He didn't
like
flip
this,
over the car, but he flipped onto the side where we can't see him. So it's like you don't see anything for a bit.
And
then he
midair,
gets up.
all you hear is, "Oh,
like,
shit."
Yo, bro, you okay? And his bike wheel is like this off to the side, and he's got it like that's the Chargers, bro.
Yeah.
That's the Chargers.
Yeah.
It's a great analogy for that football team because they're never going to be.
They have had high expectations for the last 3 to 4 years. They've had high expectations since Justin Herbert has become their quarterback.
Yeah.
And they have not fulfilled those expectations at all.
Yeah, they just
his second year. All right,
staff.
the rookie year, I get. You're struggling. The second year, like, dude, you took a timeout for what? When the guy was going to sit there, he was complacent with the tie. You guys would have done me a favor. That means the Steelers would have gone to the playoffs. That means KC would have never killed us. But no.
Just like Arthur Smith.
And then last year, you're up 27-7. You took your foot off the gas pedal.
No, they were up 30-0, weren't they?
Yeah, it was 30.
30-0.
You put your foot off the gas pedal like, we got this one. Next thing you know, you're looking at the score and you're like, oh, shit.
You didn't take your foot off the gas pedal. You got out of the car.
Right.
And just smoked a cigarette. You just started smoking. You smoked the whole cigarette at 150.
So now you're this year where it's like put up or shut up. Like, dude, you're done.
Yeah, I don't
like you're done.
He's reacting just like Arthur Smith reacts after somebody questions him about his stupid decision making.
Arthur Smith's going
super defensive. And it's a situation where it's like, bro, like you're like, this is the media. Like I know it's right after a game, but this is what their job is, to ask those tough questions. And
they need a culture change in that locker room, I think, is what they need. They need that Antonio Pierce type of spark, I think.
Something to rally
around.
Bro,
yeah.
For a minute there, it looked like the Raiders were like might have a chance to beating the Dolphins.
I mean, they almost did, man. They really almost did. That was Jalen Ramsey. He clutched it up for them, really.
Yeah.
The McDaniels Raiders would have gotten beat as bad as the Broncos did by the Dolphins, I think.
Yeah.
I think the Dolphins would have hung like 50 on the McDaniels coach. But this Raiders team, they play hard for Antonio Pierce. Yeah. And, I mean, I guess we know, for the most part, who the problem was in that equation.
Right.
They still need a quarterback,
McDaniels,
but we can say that for a lot of
Josh McDaniels will never get another head coaching position again.
Nah, he shouldn't, man. That guy's just horrible. He's just horrible at head coaching, man.
Yeah, maybe he'll be the head coach of the Patriots because
that'd be crazy.
That looks like that's coming to an end too.
Speaking of the Patriots, we got Patriots versus Giants this week. Probably
do you want to win or do you want to lose?
Yeah, like last week, the Giants fan base started bugging because you guys were out there lighting up the Commanders. Saquon Barkley gave me 33 fantasy points.
Credit to the Giants because the Commanders were fighting for playoff lies, and I think that may have just
taken them out of the mix.
Because I think tomorrow, Dallas is just
gonna finish them.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I know Dallas is gonna look good on every drive, but I think Washington's gonna find a way to somehow keep it close. But as far as
Nation, what up, Mateo?
Yeah, what's up, bro? As far as the Giants and they go and how the winning and losing goes, I don't. Would it be nice to have a high draft pick? I think it'd be nice to have a high draft pick, but I think that's not what they need because I think I'm not sold on any of these QBs that are really coming out this year.
Not excited about the draft class.
Yeah, there's no
Bo Nix.
Nah, I don't like him. I don't
Kid
see
from
it,
Georgia?
Man. I don't see it, man. I don't see
Crybaby Williams?
Nah, yeah, no. I don't see it, man. If we're not there for Marvin Harrison Jr., then I say we just gotta play every week. Go hard, balls to the wall every week, man. I don't want them to lose.
DeVito said I need this dub. According to Aaron.
Nah, yeah, I mean, he probably does. He wants to win. I mean, the kid's out there playing for a contract, essentially. There's a good chance the Giants bring him back next year if he keeps playing like this. You know what I mean? So,
Your fan base was mad.
The fan base,
No.
the Giants fan base is
However,
pissing me off.
they're always
Giants
mad about
They
something.
want to see them lose,
Giants
and I don't
365?
understand that.
Is
They're
that
always,
the fan group?
they're one of the
Oh,
I
pioneers.
hate that page with a
just
passion, bro. With a
Toxicity.
passion.
They're toxic, bro.
Bro.
They're
Every
toxic.
week they're
A couple years ago when Daniel Jones was doing bad, they had the picture of Trevor Lawrence before
That
he
I
got
was
drafted.
just about to say that was the lead. That was the page where they had the Pope holding up Trevor Lawrence in his hands prior to Trevor Lawrence getting drafted.
I mean, I would have liked
in their
to have
minds
Trevor
they were
Lawrence.
getting ready to they were ready to tank for a pick. But the problem is also with you guys are never happy with who you pick. Like as a group, like no matter who you guys
it's
draft,
always split.
there's
It's
always going to
always
be
split.
backlash.
It's gonna be
Oh,
more-
we should have
listen.
gotten this guy. Oh, we should have gotten that guy. Like you guys,
I
But I
say-
always feel like the way I think about this shit, it always kind of, it come to fruition within the 2 years. Like we should have never traded back 3 times the year we got Kadarius Toney. Like what the Michael Parsons should be a Giant, and I'm gonna say it until he retires. He should be a fucking Giant, bro. Unfortunately, Philly traded in front of us to get Devontae Smith. Cool. Parsons should be a Giant, bro.
That's wild to think about.
No, we wanted to trade back twice and pick up fucking Kadarius Toney, trade him to the Chiefs so he can go win a Super Bowl ring. Like, Jesus, bro. Jesus. And fans were happy about the shit. Like, I hate the loser.
I'm happy for Kadarius Toney, man.
65% of Giants fans have
like
a
a win
loser
for us.
mentality, and it's so sickening, bro. It's sickening.
Yeah, because you guys won Super Bowls in this era, so it doesn't make sense to think that way.
I don't get it.
It's very odd.
I don't get it.
And you're one of the fan bases that sort of hypes up the draft.
We've been
more
trying
than
to
other
fix
fan
this
bases.
O-line 15 years through the draft.
Nah, but they're barely even doing that, man. And the Barkley year fucked us completely. People can say what they want about the Jones year and everything like that, but we needed a quarterback. You know what I mean? Like,
Number
obviously
6
Eli was
overall.
on his way out and stuff like that. And
But
they-
number 6 overall.
yeah, 6 overall.
I remember that. I remember the Giants fans' face that was there live, and it looked like he had like a front row seat too. That boy,
I
his
don't think
face
I was
sunk,
living
like
out
he
here.
was like, "Yo, what did?"
I remember we
just
texted
do?
each other. That was for some odd reason we didn't do a podcast on that.
What was that?
Thursday.
17,
It must
right?
have been the day after a podcast or something.
Was that
I
17?
remember
When he got drafted.
Yeah.
Jones?
2019, I think he got drafted.
2019. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, I was living out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even know who Jones was when we drafted him.
I
Like, when
texted
Gettleman
Eli-
did that, I was like, "What the
Bro,
fuck
I
is he
texted
doing,
Eli and
bro?"
said, "Who the hell's Daniel Jones?"
Exactly. I called my
I was
dad.
like,
I was
they
like, "Do
just
you know who
wasted
Daniel
number
Jones is?"
6
He's like,
over-
"Man, some fucking quarterback from Duke."
We usually some fucking court, and he's still just some
Fucking
fucking quarterback
from.
from Duke.
Nah,
Watch the
listen, man. I
comments real
love
quick.
Daniel
What's
Jones. Like, I really
crazy-
do. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take Daniel Jones to the grave with me, man, because I really feel like.
Well, he's taking the Giants to the grave, right?
So I have no choice.
The
I have no
financial
choice.
grave.
I literally
But,
have no choice.
He
Hold
just
up.
had a successful MCL surgery, and he's going to be out 8 to 10 months, I believe.
All right,
is the
so
timetable for him to
You
miss
guys
time.
picked number 6 and number 17. Here are all the people that were picked in between. Defensive end Josh Allen, TJ Hawkinson, Ed Oliver, Devin Bush Jr. bum, Jonah Williams, Rashawn Gary, Christian Wilkins, Chris Lindenstrom, Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace, Brian Burns. And then you guys picked Dexter Lawrence.
Which was a good pick. It's just crazy to think you
Bro.
could have gotten Danny later because nobody, I don't think.
Yeah.
was-
Yeah, I don't think he was. And that was my beef with picking him up there. That
Bro, you might have got him in the second round when you really think about it.
Yeah. I mean, nobody was on.
Because
Daniel
here's the
Jones,
rest
bro.
of that draft. Oh my gosh, you guys could have had Jeffrey Simmons. He was picked 19th overall.
But who's in that top? Who's in the top 10? Go to the top 10.
The top 10 was Ed Bush, Ed Oliver, TJ Hawkinson, Josh Allen, the linebacker, Daniel Jones, Devin White, Clelin Ferrell, Quentin Williams, Nick Bosa, and of course Kyler Murray.
Maybe we should have took Quentin Williams. But then we don't.
Well,
if we
Quentin
take
Williams got
Williams,
got picked 3rd overall. You'd have to trade up.
Oh wait, I thought you said Quentin Williams name after David.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which is
You could have TJ Hawkinson if you wanted an offensive player.
Wait, he went after Daniel Jones?
Yeah.
Oh, so then Hawkinson and then Dexter Lawrence would have been great additions.
And it's crazy because you look at that and you say to yourself, they botched that. So it's like the fan base that's the part of the fan base that's super excited to get a high draft pick. It's like, why are you excited? Like, what are you going to do with it? Like, what's
that's
the
what
plan
scares me the
with
most.
high,
It's like,
you know?
what are you
Like,
going to do with
this
it?
could go terribly wrong.
You know what I mean?
again.
And again, if we get the high draft pick and we take a quarterback, I can't sit here and say I'm going to be like 100% mad because I get it, like from a personnel standpoint, like we need a build for the future. But if there's an offensive lineman there that's A plus, like you got to take him.
My theory with you guys, I think you're going to be picking in the top 5. So you should be able to get a good offensive lineman, a good tackle to put on the other side.
I agree.
Or if Marvin Harrison Jr. is there,
take him.
Then that's the only instance I'll agree with. Like, go get him over the lineman.
They can beat the Patriots this week.
Because guess what?
It doesn't really help with the whole top 5.
Marvin Harrison becomes a number 1 wide receiver immediately.
Yeah,
on that team. Yeah.
He's not he's not a slot receiver.
Listen, if it's not Harrison Jr. or the top lineman in the draft, then we trade back and get more picks for the future.
And I mean, Darius
there
Slayton,
you go, Alex. That's the thing.
Darius Slayton had a big day.
You have to, bro.
Darius Slayton had a big day, but you know that happens like once every 2 years, so it's not
Slayton.
Yeah,
he's too inconsistent.
Yeah,
I love the guy.
Not something that's going to happen.
He's been a good giant.
He definitely had a big day.
Yeah, he needs to.
And you guys have a good shot to beat the Patriots because honestly, I feel like the Commanders
shits.
have a better team than the Patriots.
Yeah, they're the drizzling shits of the AFC East. Like
it's because of Mac Jones, bro.
You're playing a team
Zappi's no
that
better.
is kind of in the same situation as you guys.
Yeah, damn near.
Because
and honestly, I think our personnel is better than their personnel. So there's really no reason why we should lose that game.
On top of that, I think Bill's out after this year, even though he signed that contract. I think.
Yeah, I think they
the bloom is off the rose. I think is that what it is. The bloom
I think he's going to get traded.
There's a lot of talk on the New York radio about the Giants trying to go after him, but I believe in Daboll and the staff we got there. So if the Giants do that, I think that'll really put a big wrench in a lot of the plans that we have as far as the team goes.
I would do it. I'd get rid of Daboll. Get him out of here. It ain't working.
Bro. Belichick without Brady ain't working. I don't want to see what he's going to do with Danny DeVito and whoever else comes in.
Look, DeVito's not going to be the starter next year, but he's won himself.
Listen, if we're talking 10-month return time, that's almost a year.
Bro. His mom made
is Daniel Jones going to be ready for the season opener next year?
No, 8 to 10 months. No, Danny Dimes will not.
Exactly my point. So who's going to be on the roster next year?
Start with the amount of money that you guys have tied into Danny
Jimmy
Dimes.
Garoppolo.
Stop bringing up the money. We have $105 million next year.
Would it behoove you guys to go sign a veteran quarterback instead of drafting a quarterback?
Jimmy Garoppolo
better. Knowing that you still have that money tied into him. You got to pay the guy. You need to have him come
he's
back,
owed the money regardless. So, he's owed the money regardless, and we're going to have more money after he leaves. So I'm not worried about
maybe a Ryan Tannehill, right? Like we're talking about a veteran backup that can
get us through the year.
A Gardner Minshew type, you know?
Yeah, just to get us through the year.
Because once again, Gardner Minshew is raising his value this season again. Like he does it every time wherever he goes. Like that dude is the elite backup.
Happy holiday, brother.
I know my
happy holiday, bro.
My phone ain't updating.
How could you forget it's podcast day, bro? I know that's a lot going
Wednesday.
on. It's a lot going on. It's Thanksgiving Eve.
Jets and Giants owners need to stop being cheap and get turf. Yeah, I mean, listen, we've been talking about that turf.
I mean, the Colts got nice turf. They got turf. I haven't heard as many injuries happening to the Colts.
Maybe it's the ground. I don't know.
The SoFi Stadium, I haven't heard that much. Vegas too,
but it's not like it's not a fact. Like people go to MetLife and literally blow their knees out for fun.
No, it's like Vet Stadium.
Yeah.
The vet was a death trap for a lot of players.
Baseball, the Vet destroyed Mike Schmidt's knees.
Yeah, but Bill Belichick is going to be a talking point if he does leave, and depending on what the other situations are around the league, like, hey, maybe the Chargers, maybe he goes to LA.
Wow,
that would be crazy.
Just kind of
if that happened,
talking about a culture change.
The Chargers will become
they'd be a lot less silly. I know that.
Yeah,
they'd be playoff contenders.
I think they turn into.
And you know why? Because
you give him a Justin
Herbert mold. If it's Tom Brady mold,
he hasn't had a quarterback since Brady.
He'll you know what'll happen? He'll bring in Josh McDaniels. Because you know what? Josh McDaniels is Vince Russo when he doesn't have Vince McMahon to say
by himself. Yeah. He can't do
so
it by himself.
by himself, he's like, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. They'll be like, this is what we're going to do. Okay.
All right, Dad.
So I can see that dynamic working out in Los Angeles.
Or maybe Kellen Moore stays and Belichick comes over, and you have a new partnership there.
With that defense too, he can shape them and mold. Wow, I didn't think about
defense has improved.
You know what? I think I might place that if it's a bet.
Next
Chargers coach says Belichick. I'm putting bets down on
it. We can put it on our way too early 2024 predictions. Belichick to the Chargers. We'll put it on the wall. We don't have a wall, but I just put it on there.
When you guys,
I'm gonna buy Cook.
Super Bowl.
What do you mean?
2024 predict like your way too early predictions.
I think we've been starting earlier and earlier every year, especially now that we do like with Dynasty.
We're getting a cork board for the podcast. So that we can start thumbtacking our outlandish,
our most outlandish takes. We can just put them up there. Like when you said Deontay Johnson and George Pickens could both be top 10 receivers, that should have gone on the board right away.
It should have.
You shouldn't have. You shouldn't have even said it. You should have just put it on the board.
I forgot who the coordinator was.
I don't blame you.
Sheesh. And you mentioned the Colts earlier. They just released Darius Leonard.
That's wild. And he just cleared waivers.
That's another guy.
Nobody was going to pick his contract up.
Yeah.
He had $6.5 million for the rest of the year, which all of it was guaranteed because of injury. Next year was $15 million guaranteed, $16 million, and like 14. So now there's talks that the Dallas Cowboys are going after him.
The Giants.
The Eagles are going after him. And that Coach Tomlin's already gave him a call, too, and told him he's interested in him.
Listen, him and Bobby Okereke used to play together. I think it makes sense for him to come to New York.
I mean, there's probably a lot of coaches that know their defenses are the reason why they're in games are trying to make that call. Because you already know what your bread and butter is. And then you add a guy like that into the equation.
If I'm Leonard, I want to go to a tender. Yeah, if I'm Leonard, I'm
all right if the Steelers go get him. We just got Miles Jack to unretire. We took Blake Martinez and put him to the press.
Is that
our inside linebacker core was shattered. It started in the Tennessee game where Cole Holcomb's knee, like what you do normal, went backwards and was doing it. And then a week later, Quan Alexander blows his Achilles out. Bro, we started Michael Walker. I didn't even know who the hell Michael Walker was.
Vrabel starts guys I've never heard of all the time. And then when we lose, he gets up on the podium and says, we got to coach better. We got to play better. He doesn't even – he says the same exact verbiage.
Is Vrabel the next coach of the New England Patriots?
I don't think so.
I read about that too.
Yeah.
I got to believe it when I see it. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Robert Kraft loves him.
Yeah.
I'm starting to realize how much the A.J. Brown trade affected him, though. Because, like, he's been trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit for a while with just random guys, Nick Westbrook Akines and Chris Moores, and it's just like that J-Rob trade really fucked us bad. Like I didn't realize how detrimental it was until now, watching this team in this season and looking how everything played out. Because not for nothing, our defense hasn't even been the same, and that's with the signings of Algier and Arden Key. I thought they were supposed to improve on that side. The funny thing is, we're better in the secondary now, but now you can run all over us. So it's just like, how the hell did that happen?
Chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Yeah, like basically just a bunch of random guys like just guys I've never heard of before, trying to make plays, and it's just one of those weird situations for me. Like now this week we get the Panthers, and it's gonna be like rookie versus rookie. I expect to beat them, which doesn't really help as far as like draft situation goes, but like moving forward, like I really think this is Derrick Henry's last year with us.
It's the last year of his contract, right?
Yeah, last year of his contract. Tajay Spears is the future, because I've never seen a running back in the Derrick Henry era cut into Henry's workload like Tajay does.
Damn, does Derrick retire, or does somebody give him $7 million to come out there and just fucking?
I don't think he retires.
Picture him going to Dallas.
I don't think he retires.
That'd be crazy.
I could picture a few places. And I hate
Dallas,
it. I hate it, and you're gonna hate it. But the Baltimore Ravens,
Baltimore,
because J.K. Dobbins is not the guy. I'm sorry. I love the guy, but he's not going to be the standalone feature back. And he could potentially replace a J.K. Dobbins out there as the lead back.
Take a whole lot of pressure off of Lamar.
And I don't know what the contract situation is for Gus Bus, but right now this guy is a walking anytime touchdown, and he is going to be someone that could end up getting money somewhere else.
Well, no, I think he's signed with them for a while, though.
So we could potentially see Derrick Henry and Gus together, which would actually be freaking crazy.
Dude.
And we're talking about the team that currently sits at top of the AFC.
The Baltimore's led the league in rushing, the last 4 years, something like that, right?
That's their specialty. Yeah,
they
do.
That's
what they
Lamar,
want to dictate the case.
Gus Bus, now Keaton Mitchell. They always find guys. I mean, they run a really good scheme and system over there, too, in Baltimore.
Keaton Mitchell had a dud week this week. This was the week that I expected him to have last week. I meant to apologize to him last week because I said that he was going to be a total bust and he was a waste of a waiver.
I think a touchdown got called back on him, though, didn't it? I think there was
last week.
Yeah, this past week. I think there was a touchdown.
No, yeah, this past week he only had 5 points. The week before he went off, though.
Where are they at?
The week before he went off.
When gave him much, then he would have got the touchdown.
I'm looking for Gus.
Yeah, he would have potentially ended up with 12.
Maybe 12 points. Yeah.
Which, I mean, hey, some weeks that 12 points is all you need. But that I know that 5 points wasn't helping
the way
anybody
I look at it,
starter.
too, like a guy, Keaton Mitchell, I look at it like I think of DraftKings, right? How we make our lineups. He's probably worth $3,000-$4,000.
Right.
You don't need 12 points from a guy like that.
Gus Bus has one more year left, and that's next year for only $1.8 million.
Yeah, so bring on Henry for the year.
Not getting cut because that not 1.8 to keep Gus Bus.
Yeah, they're not worried about that.
Steal. It's a steal. You bring him. You got him, Henry, Lamar running the
with that offensive line. Whoo, yeah.
That'd be crazy.
That's gonna be spooky.
Yeah.
So yeah, I put the Dallas Cowboys up there. I'd put the Ravens up there.
I'd put Philly up there too, only because they just like to go out there and get guys like that. I mean, they'll get there. If
the Titans will have $100 million in cap space. They'll have the most cap space when the 2024 season begins.
It's money we didn't have this year.
But
we were tied up with Tannehill and Henry. That was Tannehill and Henry combined was over $100 million. Like just those two guys. We just couldn't. We couldn't.
Derrick Henry has one more year left on his contract.
Really? So
no, 2 years. I'm sorry.
Oh, so then he still got 2
I
years.
thought he was a free agent after this year. All right, so Derrick Henry has 2 more years.
I think you guys should trade him.
Next year, $5.4 million is what he's owed. If they cut him, they save $4 million.
Oh my God! Can you imagine if we cut Derrick Henry? That'd be so disrespectful. They can't. You gotta treat him better than that. I know that we're not historically good at treating players good, but you can't treat Derrick Henry like that.
You can get 2 5s for him, bro. 2 4s. Like, come on.
Oof. 23 million cap hit next year for Harold Landry.
Yeah, I'm not excited about that. Not excited about that in the slightest. Especially when like I said, like I was expecting our defense to come out guns a-blazing this year. And we're not as bad in the secondary, apart from Christian Fulton, who was a total disaster. But now you can gash us down the middle with run plays. I don't understand it. Like, I don't understand. Like, we fix one thing, and then the other thing starts leaking. And it's just like, like, what is happening?
What is going
we see
on
it with
here?
Football teams all the time, every year. And
like, what is the issue?
It's just unfortunate it's the Titans this year, but it's weird, though. It is super weird. Like you said, you plug up one hole with the what's that rubbery stuff that people you see the guy with the memes always slapping
the
rubber stuff on the hole, the sinking boat, whatever, and the other part of the boat starts sinking and leaking. So I get it, man. Trust me. I mean, the Giants are a great definition of that metaphor. So
it's so frustrating.
It's rough, man, to say the least.
And for them to, first of all, if we come out and fall on our faces against the Panthers, then just forget about it. You know what I mean? They're clearly I know what the assignment is. But on the flip side, us beating the Panthers doesn't say anything about us. Yeah. The Panthers are trash. It doesn't mean anything.
Same thing for the
and it's an NFC game, so it's not like it helps us in any way, shape, or form.
Right. And
I saw that picture. Where's Elon's shirt? What a rebel.
I didn't know they were going to wear the On the Money sports hoodies. I actually have mine hanging up in the closet. I just threw on the Nike hoodie with the jacket.
I was going to do the black and yellow.
This was not discussed. We don't usually talk about what's going to happen when the camera goes on. It sort of just happens. I give him a quick rundown of what I wrote down, and then he hits the button, and we kind of just go from there. And it's just, we've been doing it this way for 8 years now.
Yeah.
This is how we've done it up until this point. What up, Misi? He just checked in.
BC, what up, bro?
Raider Nation.
Raider Nation. That's right. That's right.
Based
Aiden
on
O'Connell.
Based on the conversation up until this point, it's clear that every football team lacks something. The Chiefs need a wide receiver. The Bills need a brain. You know, like everybody is lacking at some point.
What happens to the Eagles when they run out of luck?
Well,
it probably won't happen until the very end, like last year. It's gonna happen in a way. And let not for nothing, if the Chiefs do a better job of execution, like the Chiefs controlled that football game until they didn't. And
that's
right, the first 3 quarters.
That's right, Misi.
The Chiefs have all of a sudden become one of the worst second half teams in football. And we're talking about MVS dropping the ball. What about Travis Kelce and his drops?
He dropped a touchdown.
And the fumble.
He dropped a touchdown. He fumbled the ball. Justin Watson dropped 2
before the
passes.
game cutting interviews talking about he's been thinking about retirement.
His drop.
So
what?
Yeah, he was cutting interviews talking about he thinks about retirement for the last couple of years.
What?
That his body's beat up.
What the?
His drop was just as crucial as the MVS drop.
He marries Taylor Swift in the offseason, dog, and that means he's retired.
Is DeVito the real deal, or is he make believe like the Tooth Fairy?
DeVito is
listen, the same way I wasn't calling Jalen Hurts elite last year is the same way I don't believe in Tommy DeVito. Like, I don't have no reason to believe in that kid. He didn't know what he was doing out there last week. I don't know if he watched the game, but the kid literally, you can clearly see he doesn't really know what he's doing out there. Yeah, he can throw a dot here and there and get it to his guy, but the guy either has to be wide open or make a really good catch like Saquon did. Those passes that those plays that wide receivers made last week for the Giants, 4, maybe 5 of those big plays were blown coverages. There was no quarterback around the wide receiver. Me neither, dude. I had no idea. But if the wide receiver was just slightly covered, DeVito could barely get the ball to that guy and barely knew where to put it.
To talk about Misi's question, we just discussed that about 5 minutes ago.
I'm saying the Chargers.
Well, a lot of us
now. That's going to be my hot take.
That the Chargers are who we think he's going to end up.
Forget about it. Bro, his mom has chicken parm on the stove. This dude's playing with house money.
Serge
he didn't even expect
to
play.
He hasn't done nothing to earn an elite factor, and I think that's Hurts. Towards the Hurts comment.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
Hurts has been mid
all year. Not only has Hurts been mid all year, the Eagles are getting by, bro. They're literally just getting by off the skin of their teeth.
I don't know how anybody's putting him in MVP conversations. I don't think he should be.
No, he shouldn't be. No, he should not.
That's not me hating.
No,
I feel like Tyreek Hill.
People are never going to take me seriously because I hate the Eagles.
I hate the fact that the MVP has turned into.
Are we going to go off stats, or are we going to go off? It's like the All-Star voting in basketball.
I'm tired of everybody associating the MVP award with a quarterback. What Tyreek Hill is doing is crazy right now.
Yeah, agreed.
Those McCaffrey and Tyreek Hill should be the front runners for the MVP right now.
I mean, does CJ Stroud have better numbers than Hurts right now?
Bro,
I think he does.
I would not listen.
I'm pretty sure he does.
So he would, if Hurts is in the conversation, Stroud would have to be in the conversation.
Stroud's already for Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's a gimme. So they should have been talking about Stroud 2 weeks ago in the MVP conversation.
Yeah, he's gonna get the Rookie of the Year. I'm just saying if we're measuring it based off of the stats, we got Tyreek Hill who's gonna get 2,000.
There it is. I was waiting. I wasn't gonna bring it up. Cuz thank you. I appreciate you.
There it is, so everybody can see the comment. Hurts and Love have the same exact numbers, so is Love in the MVP race? Too?
Not at all. He's nowhere near an MVP. I don't care what RJ says about my quarterback.
I'm going to place a bet for the first time ever in NFL history.
Rookie of the Year.
The Rookie of the Year is going to be the MVP. If we're going to go quarterback, if the Houston Texans get to the playoffs, hell, if the Houston Texans overtake the Jaguars,
they will. They will.
And he continues to play
that's
this way.
That's going to be a good game.
They will.
Well, I'm taking the Jags, but that's going to be a good game.
That's a good game on the Sunday slate.
I would say I would go Stroud. I would not be mad if Stroud finishes the year
with 4,500 passing yards.
I'm sorry. If 40 touchdowns, Stroud's your MVP.
Yeah.
But you know what? Those old-time people who are like 7 years old, taking away benefits from younger people, are going to go, well, that's never done, and we're not going to start a precedent now. He's going to be okay with the Rookie of the Year. The MVP must be a quarterback.
We're going to give it to Patrick Mahomes?
No, they better not.
Is it Patrick Mahomes
No,
or
they
Jalen
better
Hurts?
not.
Like, is this the...
No, bro. No,
because we don't really know what the MVP
I don't
race
care if those are the
is,
two
which
quarterbacks
makes it
in the
more
Super Bowl, bro.
dangerous.
Neither one of those guys deserve an MVP
Absolutely
trophy
not.
this year.
Brock Purdy is lighting it
Thank
up
you.
right
Thank
now.
you. I was just
Like,
about to
is
say
he
that.
in the
If we're going to
MVP
put a
race?
quarterback in the MVP conversation,
C.
it needs to be CJ Stroud and Brock Purdy. Those are the only two
Tua.
quarterbacks.
I'll
give Tua to.
Tua is an outside
Tua.
guy.
by association because
Yeah.
he's linked to
He's
Tyreek
the one
Hill.
throwing the ball to
Yes.
Tyreek Hill.
Yes.
So Tua's numbers.
He's throwing the ball to Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, but what's the yards after catch?
What hurts Tua is this time of year
I
he
gotta
starts.
check.
Exactly.
What hurts
Check
Tua is this time of year he's having stinkers. Like at this time of year, if he goes up against a big team, and the fact that the Dolphins haven't beaten a big team,
that. In the cold weather too.
but when I say that, then it's like we're moving back the goalposts as far as what you need to do to accomplish the feat. Do we give it to Josh Allen? Josh Allen can't get right, like for nothing.
Tua should get comeback
know?
player of the year
I
because
agree
that was
with
crazy last year.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He's actually
Yes.
playing.
I wouldn't say Detroit's better than the Chiefs yet, but Detroit is on the up and up.
Ooh,
Detroit is on the
Detroit
up.
is
I
a-
got the-
listen,
bro, I
The
think
Detroit Lions
they could beat the Chiefs again.
are
I think, bro.
going to get their 9th dub tomorrow, and it's not even December. When have we ever said that in the history
Bro,
of
we
the
are-
On the Money Sports Podcast?
We are pro
Oh, yeah,
Lions
the
on
history
this
of the
podcast.
podcast
This is a
never
pro
ends.
Lions podcast, like across the board. We all love the Lions
Yeah,
and what they're
I fucking
doing.
love the Lions.
And right now, 8-2, they're making all of us
They,
look
to
like
me,
geniuses.
are more impressive than the Philadelphia Eagles.
I mean, yeah, record-wise, yeah, the record is the record, but I still that defense that Kansas City has is legit.
Woo!
And
Did you see what Aiden Hutchinson said? He said game over Sunday. And people could be like, oh, it was the Bears suck. Bro, it was a division game.
Brock
Whenever
Purdy
two
just landed in
division-
the perfect
because-
situation. Who does Stroud have? Who does Purdy have? I feel like CJ
So
would be more
Well,
deserving.
not for nothing though.
you got
Stroud
Eagles
has
fans. You know what an
talent,
Eagles fan
bro.
told me? Well, they should have beat the Bears. The Bears should have never beat them. I said, well, then why did Washington give y'all problems a couple weeks ago if you're better than Washington?
You were supposed to beat the Jets and you didn't.
Yeah.
So,
So guess what?
but you can't make people see
Jared
the error
Goff-
in their argument. When you say shit like that, they don't realize that they're making excuses for why they lost those games. It's easier
Jared
to see
Goff
it when other
had a
teams do it.
shit show of a game and still
Oh, yeah.
found a way
Yeah,
to
me
get
stressed
this
out.
team making drive after drive in the second half to win that game.
I traded for Goff, and I lost in the league that I traded him for, and it put me in a tough
Who
spot.
does Stroud have? Stroud has Nico Collins,
who's a good
Tank
wide
for
receiver.
Tank Dell, who's
Tank
a
Dell,
rookie,
who's a rookie wide receiver, and literally kind of like not breaking records, but he's
And,
in that conversation of guys who did their thing.
and
Like
Dalton-
Robert Woods.
Dalton Schultz
Robert Woods is a
tight
great
end.
value, and Dalton Schultz is a great.
Who's his
tight
running
end.
back? Devin Singletary and
Damian
David Pierce has been hurt all year.
Yeah,
I mean,
he has been hurt.
So
all year.
you tell
I
me who's
think
been
that
more impressive this year.
CJ Stroud has a better wide receiver combo
Brock
than
Purdy's Mr.
Brock
Irrelevant.
Purdy does.
We screwed Javi over with CJ Stroud.
Yeah, we did. But there was no, like we said in the
At
chat,
the
man, there was
time,
no predicting that, bro. There was
yeah.
no predicting.
I
that
have
shit
to
was
hear
gonna
Alexi tell me this shit every
Forever.
time we talk about
Yeah, but that's an
Stroud.
unfair
Forever.
argument. That's an unfair argument. That shit has
It's
to fall on
hindsight.
Yeah,
Now
no,
it's hindsight.
You can't. It's easy to say see because he's doing good.
It's hindsight.
Because if he'd be doing bad, he wouldn't be coming
like
up to
this
you
comment
having
right here.
conversations.
CJ was sitting on waivers across leagues for the first 2 weeks of the season.
I
until
had
people
him,
caught on.
and I dropped him like a damn idiot.
I never had him, and I wish I did.
I had
Who,
him in
Stroud?
On the Money Sports.
If I had Stroud,
Stroud?
if I had Stroud, bro, you'd probably
I
have
would-
five. You'd have
so
5
I
wins.
earned what I got.
Because you can't. You
If
can't
I
go
would have started
crazy.
Stroud the whole year in sick picks, I'd have at least 3 more wins. And I'm 5-6.
If I would have picked him up, I'd have more wins.
Oh, I wasted
I
no
would've
time
just picked
picking
him up.
I picked up Stroud week 2 everywhere.
No,
I'm pretty sure I had Stroud. Or
it
maybe
felt
I
like-
did. I'm not sure.
It felt like
I
Bryce
Oh, it was all the
Young.
money. Oh, I had Stroud and True Money, and I dropped him.
It felt like Bryce
That I
Young was
know.
getting the praise, but look at CJ Stroud and the body of work that he's put in. Like, if you were to ask me today who the MVP is, like, he's the first name I think of. You know?
Yeah.
And
Well,
I
no.
don't disagree,
like,
man.
I don't really.
Brock Purdy has a bunch of all pros. Y'all know how I feel about Brock Purdy and the Niners whooped the Steelers' ass. Still doesn't change my mind about Brock Purdy.
I think Brock Purdy's having a good year. I think he is starting to show that he can play the quarterback position a little bit better than what I was saying last year.
Brock
but I
Purdy
still
is at his best with all his weapons.
I'm going to stick to my guns and say that almost any quarterback can go into that San Francisco system and literally ball the way he's balling. Bro.
Jared Goff will ball with those guys.
What?
Jared Goff.
Sam Darnold, who's on that team, will ball in that system.
Jared Goff will fuck around and take them to the bowl.
Yeah, dude.
Like he's done it,
bro.
He's done it with a team built that way.
Kyle
do you
Shanahan
think
is a fucking
keep
genius.
the Raiders job?
He should. I think he's changed
I
the
think
culture
the last 7 games make a big.
Do they make the same mistake and fire the interim coach
like they did a couple of years ago? Rich
Bossy,
I told you, and I said it on this podcast. I said Bossy deserved that job.
He got fired for no reason.
He took them to the playoffs after that shit storm in the beginning of the year with the whole John Gruden controversy. He found a way to weather the storm.
We quit on the Raiders after they did that. Remember that. This was a pro Raiders podcast at one point. One of us would always slip the Raiders into the conversation as far as like wild cards. After that happened, we were both done with the Raiders up until this point. They never recovered. They never recovered from the on the money stamp of death.
Yeah, I agree with Nolan too. Both have awesome weapons and good systems. Yeah,
but nobody knew Tank Dell was going to be this damn good.
Well, the Houston Texans,
Houston's changing things like that. Whole
D'Amico
Ryans has changed the coach over there.
And here's the common denominator: they're both from San Francisco.
Yeah, it's a duplicate of the system in San Fran. Like he took what he learned and he was able to duplicate the success. Which is, good on his part to be able to do that because that's hard to be able to duplicate success.
Yeah, I think next year is going to be a big year for Houston. I think they're going to.
This year's a big year.
But this is them getting.
They're going to be ahead of themselves. They're going to be ahead of themselves because he's going to get to the playoffs and he's probably going to hit a wall.
He's stupid. Look. I don't quit on my team. It's like being married for 30 years. You get tired of your spouse, but you love them.
Yeah. I get it.
Listen, you've been through the mud with the Raiders through and through for years. I've already known that about you.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Like he's always repped the Raiders ever since we were in school. I've always remembered that. Same way I tell people about him, he's repped the Titans since day one.
Always.
Same thing for Misi. So
always. No matter how bad they piss me off with the things that they do, like getting a 20-yard first down and then bringing in Malik Willis for like a weird ass play where we fumble. It's just one of those like you're doing this to antagonize me. There's no other reason for this. And that's your team. You ride with them through the storm. You love them, and there's no change in that. There's no change in that. There's ups and downs.
About Houston though, I think
the standard is a standard.
Yeah. I think Houston's climbing up the steps. And what they're doing is just they're taking an extra step. You know how you climb up the steps and you'll hit like 2 steps instead of the 1. That's what Houston did. They're trying to take it 2 steps at a time. So this year they're just getting a little ahead of themselves, but I think they're going to be a problem next year.
Yeah, bro, you love them because at the end of the day, when they do good things, no team makes you happier than your team when they're doing the right things.
Yeah,
it's just the elation.
I love the Giants. Okay, it's hard. It's really hard loving the Giants. It's hard loving the Knicks. It's hard loving the Yankees. Like it's fucking difficult. Okay, but I love it.
It's a 30-year marriage. Well, for me, it's been 24 years of being married to the Titans. And, I ain't going anywhere. A lot of players go places where they get traded out of town, but I'm always going to be here for the good, the bad, and the ugly. Would y'all like to see Gronk come back? I think Gronk is comfortable with what he's doing.
Yeah, this guy's jumping out of airplanes on Sundays afternoons. Like, he's having way too much.
Oh, that's the biggest fleece in the history of sports.
What, your trade?
No.
Not right here.
Because, bro, A-Chain is going to come back, bro. A-Chain is going to come back. Houston looks like geniuses after the Watson trade. They robbed them and took full advantage of it.
And they still got another first round this year.
Yeah, that's what you do.
They fleeced the shit out of them.
Chicago.
They got rid of the situation.
However,
the problem.
Cleveland's 7-3 right now. Do I think they're going to continue to be 7-3? How long can DTR keep this up?
I don't know,
bro.
Man. I think they might do enough to get into the playoffs because of their record. But they're one and done. If they get into the playoffs, they're one and done.
They might be the epitome of the defense does most of the work for us.
Yeah.
When you think about it, because that defense
just can't lose games.
Good.
If he can figure out a way to not lose the game and just not turn over the ball, then I guess anything's possible for Cleveland. But
in the AFC to be 7-3 right now, like
it's big. That's big.
Right now.
And especially in that division.
Here's the remainder of their games, which they should make. There's no excuse that they don't make the playoffs. They go to Denver this weekend. I think their defense is good enough to
That's a
beat
tough
Denver.
one.
However,
Denver, they're equals, bro.
Denver all of a sudden got confidence now, knocking off 2 playoff contenders in back-to-back weeks.
I'm scared of Russ against that defense.
I am too.
That's terrifying.
Then they go to Los Angeles to the Rams. They should win that game. They're home for the Jaguars. I just don't know what Jaguars team you're going to get.
Listen, just like I said,
Here's the one that's going to be interesting. Christmas Eve, 1 o'clock, Cleveland and Houston.
Yeah, I'll give that to Houston.
The following
That's
week.
a big, big game.
The following week, the Jets come to Cleveland. That's going to be crazy because both
It
defenses.
depends where the Jets are at that.
Listen, this Jets team with Boyle is not beating anybody. I'll take DTR.
However, that's the time frame
For Mr. Rogers.
for Mr. T. Herbal T himself.
Denver did turn it around big time. With 2
And
big
lastly,
wins.
Sean Payton.
they faced Jake Browning in Cincinnati for the last game of the year.
That's far from a gauntlet, honestly.
It's
Yeah.
not. That is
That's
very
fine.
The
doable.
path is there. So the path is there.
Very,
Bro,
very doable.
We're one Dorian Thompson good game away from like us being like shit. Like this team could be. This team is now 8-3. Like if that kid goes off on a
that'd be
team,
crazy.
look,
bro.
he went up against Pittsburgh. That's a fucked up matchup for a rookie to go up against in any standard.
Yeah, Pittsburgh plays great defense, man.
Next, you have Denver. Denver has cleaned it up. Like Stephon Diggs struggled. The Denver defense is different. Eventually, there's gonna come that soft part of a schedule where I don't know who they play after Denver.
The Rams, he said.
The Rams, bro. Like
But you can run the ball in Denver too. Like offensively, they might be able to actually get some things done.
this kid can potentially have himself
Denver's
one good
defense
Sunday.
has quietly gotten very good since that.
Since the Miami game,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Secondary has locked it up. The secondary,
The
for
secondary's been like.
sure. But there's been teams.
They
I
still-
see it every week where teams gash them for. 20
I'm very
and 30
impressed
yard
with
runs.
Denver the last couple weeks, beating the Chiefs,
spicy.
beating the
They've been
Vikings.
spicy. This is almost like the Denver team that we thought we were going to get last year.
Yeah.
They're going to lose
Yeah.
some, but
Russell's
they're gonna
really
get
not
some big
making
wins.
mistakes. He's really not
Yeah.
throwing the ball in harm's way.
Cortland
Yeah.
Sutton, bro.
This,
That man, another guy that lives in the end zone right now.
Two
Cortland
guys that
freaking
I want
Sutton.
no parts of.
this
year
game
was
could
Sutton
end
and
the same
Wilson.
way as the Pittsburgh game. 13-10, 10-7.
Yeah, it could
There
be.
will be no points scored this weekend.
17, 16, maybe.
That could be the Giants game too, something like that. Something
It's that's definitely one of the more interesting games on the slate because you on one side you have Russ going up against arguably the best defense in football, and on the other side you've got the rookie going up against a revamped Broncos team that you can't compare this football team to what we saw in September. They're not the same
They're
team.
not.
They're not the same energy. Patrick Surtain and those boys
Everybody
out
is
there
bought
doing
into Sean
damage.
Payton's system finally.
Yeah,
And
Javonte
guess what?
Williams
They're
is
winning
healthy.
now.
They're not predictable in the red zone because like when they get into the red zone,
Yo, and
Russ
he's not
knows-
just giving it to Javonte.
No, it's Cortland Sutton, bro.
Jaleel McClill. I don't know.
McLaughlin.
Yo,
P. Ryan.
that dude
was
is
out
good.
there. P. Ryan was balling.
Yeah, they're utilizing their personnel pretty good, man. They really are.
Yeah, they're finding ways to win football games, and I think that's a
Jerry,
credit to
let's
Sean
look at
Payton.
Denver's
Judy
path.
is having a horrible year,
Yes.
bro.
Denver's
Yes.
path.
He has.
After the Browns, they go to Houston for the Texans.
Oof.
Then they go to Los Angeles for the Chargers. Then, oh man, three straight away games. Their final away game.
What
is
happens
in
at 9
Detroit.
o'clock that you're alarmed? Like, what is it about 9
It's
o'clock?
trash night, man. It's
Okay,
trash.
all right. I was wondering.
9 is trash. 10 o'clock is
It's
fine.
always- I noticed. I looked at the time right now, and I heard the alarm. I was like, "What is 9 o'clock? Oh, is there something I'm
They
missing?"
play Detroit in Detroit. Then Christmas Eve, they play the Patriots at home. Then the 31st on New Year's Eve, they play the Chargers at home, and they end their last game of the season in Las Vegas.
So
This
they got
isn't a
decent
hard
path.
schedule.
they got a
No,
decent
the
path,
first
too.
part of it is brutal. The end of it is
Yeah,
soft. But
that Houston game's going to be big.
that stretch from Houston, or even
5-5,
starting this
bro.
week,
Anybody that plays Houston from here on out is a big game. And I don't care if it's AFC
big,
or
yeah,
AFC
it's
at
big.
this point. It's big.
you got to match their energy.
Yeah, you do, bro. There's a
'Cause
bunch of young
they're-
boys out there hungry and balling right now, dude.
They are, bro.
And like we just said, they're climbing the ladder. They're going up the steps. In my
They
opinion,
started
they're just
out 1
skipping
and
a
4.
step each time.
I have never.
Denver started out 1-4, and now
Yeah,
they're 5-5.
I remember. They were a disaster. They were a total disaster. I've never heaped more praise on the Houston Texans than I have at this point. But the reality
My
is
bad.
that
They beat 3 good teams in a row: Chiefs, Bills, and Vikings.
Yeah, and they beat Minnesota.
All teams in the playoff mix right now.
With winning record, shit like that.
Above 500 football teams. Wins that are going to matter down the stretch. Not so much the NFC win, but definitely the Chiefs and the Bills. You know what I mean? Like, having those wins. And with Buffalo, beating the Jets doesn't mean anything. That doesn't give us any more of an indication on who Buffalo is. Buffalo has a game coming up with the Chiefs that all of a sudden becomes a lot more interesting.
Right now, the number one seed in the AFC is with Baltimore.
Yeah. So,
like, the number one seed's still up for grabs for a lot.
Yeah.
Bro,
The AFC is wide open. There is no clear-cut favorite.
Zay Flowers is a better wide receiver than anybody.
I told this to Alex.
Wide receiver.
I told this to Alex the other day. Well, he's like, but Mahomes. I said, listen, at the end of the day, he is not who he is. I don't think teams are fearing the Chiefs this year. Their defense is solid, but it's wide open.
This loss exposed them.
Whoever gets hot
this loss
is going to the Super Bowl.
Let me ask you guys a question, because I agree with what he just said about the Bills. Like, I'm not completely sold on them, right?
Nope.
But the Jets they're giving up only 14, 16 points a game, and the Bills went out there and carved them up. What do you think that says about the Bills going forward?
It's a division game.
But that
however, the Bills
and
can't lose any more AFC games.
I mean, it's safe to say that game was a must-win for Buffalo. Like, if Buffalo loses that football game, you're giving the Jets life, and you got swept by them this season. So going into the rematch against this team, there's no way Buffalo was going to come out of there like you had to win. You had to beat this team.
Right.
And had they lost,
on the flip side,
out of been their 6th AFC loss.
The Jets are arguably
hurting
top
on the
3, top 4. But guess what? The Jets' offense is so bad that there's only so much your defense is going to do when you're playing up at the 20-yard line because Zach Wilson can't move the ball.
Yeah, like I said, they're only giving up 16 points a game, but the Jets can't even put up 9.
You can still be a good defense. It's just you're getting put in constant bad situations.
Boyle is just an average quarterback.
He just has to put up 2 touchdowns.
They can win games. As long as he doesn't turn the ball over, gets them in the red zone, throws a touchdown pass, gets Breece Hall into the end zone.
Yes.
That defense is good enough that if you score 20 points,
you're going to win games.
They can beat you.
Yeah, you're going to win games.
Yeah, the Jets just need you to drop like 10, 20. Yeah, 20. The Jets need 20
to be comfortable
from Boyle. 20 points is definitely where it can get interesting. And this week, you've got them going up against the Miami Dolphins.
Is that in Miami or is that in New York?
It's in New York.
I don't know, but it's going to be on Prime TV.
But it's the first of 2 games.
Friday.
What is the degree of weather?
Yeah, they haven't played them yet. This is their first
East Rutherford Friday.
I think it's going to be mid-50s.
Would you call it East Rutherford?
Yeah.
East Rutherford, dog. Have you ever heard of it?
46 degrees.
Oh, okay, 46.
What's it going to really feel like, though?
If it's 46, it's been windy the last couple of days, so it might feel like 35, 38.
Tua averages 11 points, fantasy points in the cold.
That's crazy.
What was it?
11.
That's crazy.
So, just throwing it out
Who do the
there.
Rams play this weekend?
The Rams are going up against the Cardinals.
Yes. Yeah, it is the Cardinals.
You about to start Tommy John Stafford against me?
Bro, my playoff spots
that dude scares the
lose.
shit out of me, bro. Because every week I just feel like, this dude's arm is about to fall off. He's my super flex quarterback. Like, I'm gonna have to start super flex and random position players because that's all I've got.
Didn't I pick up Timmy Boyle in super flex? I think that's what I did.
I'm
not starting him. I just picked him up, so I had like a.
I put in a $50 fab bid on Browning only to see that Terrell ended up dropping 85 for him and adding him to his
This is terrible. Bro. All right, the Steelers are 6-4 and 4-3. Like, the reason why Houston has the 6th spot over Pittsburgh is they beat Houston earlier.
You think Dobbs will have a starting job next season?
Pittsburgh's 4-3 in the AFC. The Bills are 5-5.
Dobbs?
He could definitely have a shot next year somewhere.
Oh yeah.
I could see him start.
Dobbs is going to be considered a bridge gap.
What are the Falcons doing? Give him a call. Him with the Falcons could be interesting.
You sign him to a 2-year deal. You draft a young quarterback. You put him to start. If he flounders, you can stick your rookie in there.
Giants.
I was just going to say that. The Giants.
You're talking about a viable backup quarterback while Danny heals, because then you shouldn't be. That's going to be the storyline heading into 2024. How soon do you bring back Danny Dimes, based on the timeline of the time he's going to miss based on the surgery.
Well, let's say they tell us that he's going to be back for week 6 or week 8 around there. I mean, it really all depends on where we're at that point.
True. This is true.
You know what
And
I mean?
I definitely get what you're saying, Mies, but also, like, we've seen how far some of these glorified backups can go, bro. Like, these glorified backups can go win Super Bowls. Like, on the right,
you know, the only reason why I won't say that he's a glorified backup and another Nick Foles because that man went into Minnesota not knowing a word of that damn play.
He didn't know shit
The
about their
center
playbook.
had to learn his cadence on the sideline, bro.
His game was his orientation was the game,
bro. That was insane,
Yeah, that was crazy.
bro. Insane.
But he's bringing that energy. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
he
he's
is.
bringing
He
that
really
freaking
is,
energy,
man.
and he's been
He's
the
earning
perfect
himself
bridge.
a check, man, and I got nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? I have no ill will to say about
Bro, we
that.
wrote these guys off.
Yeah.
We wrote this team off.
Yeah,
It wasn't just the Jefferson injury; it was the Kirk Cousins injury. We said to ourselves, "Man,
There's no
they're
way.
done. It's over."
Yeah,
Not
there's
to
no
mention
way.
the way they started the season. And then ever since they beat they beat the Chargers that week, right?
Yeah.
Ever since that week when they
Came
beat
back
the Chargers,
fourth quarter, come back and everything, bro.
like they haven't. Their first loss was against Denver. Ever since Jefferson goes down, but we're
Mhm.
talking about a team that's gone 5-1 to this point,
Without their best offensive player.
and a defense that I don't think people realize is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Like the
I
Vikings
didn't
defense
think
is
they
good.
were going to be good, man. You know, they're a young defense. They had young cornerbacks who were getting burnt all year last year, and this year they figured out a way. But you know who, credit to that? Brian motherfucking Flores, man. Brian Flores has that defense.
He got them boys playing
together.
He got them
right
playing
now.
sharp. And it's a defense that we all write off. It's a defense that's still on waiver wires right now that I was looking at, and I was thinking to myself, do I want Denver? Do I want Minnesota? Like, it's at that point, though, because you have seen the body of work and realize, like, okay, I'm looking at how much they're averaging each week. I'm like, oh, shit, like, the Vikings are not the defense that I associated from last year or the
They
season
just
before.
give up
It's
plays.
been a while. Yeah.
They just
They'll give up some plays.
Yeah.
But you're like, especially with fantasy football, you get those points back with the sacks, with the forced fumbles, with the stuff like that to kind of balance everything out. And that's what they've been able to bring to the table on top of being able to move the ball down the field without their primary option.
Man, that's true, man. And depending on the build of your roster in fantasy, all you really need from your defense like that, or a defense like Minnesota, is to just not give you negative points. Like, if you think your roster is really that nasty and you don't really care so much about the defense and you're starting a team like Minnesota, all you really want is for Minnesota not to give you negative points at that point. So, and they're most likely, even if it's 2 points, it's positive points.
Now,
you know what I'm saying?
What do you think? This week is interesting because now it's like you've got the Vikings DST on a Monday night football game going up against
Chicago, right?
Justin Fields and the Bears.
That's tough, man.
And Fields had 100 rushing yards last week.
Yeah,
just
that's
bro,
tough.
like, he's here, he's back.
Yeah, that's tough.
You already know. I'm starting Fields over Tua in one league.
In a Yahoo league, somebody had him in waivers, bro. I was like, give me that. They left Fields in waivers. I was like, give me that.
Or maybe it's an issue of roster space, and you gotta drop certain guys.
You gotta figure out how to make it work.
You gotta figure out how to hold on
keep
to
a
Fields.
guy like Fields on.
Yeah, I know you got an IR spot, bro.
Yeah, no, there's no way.
Yeah, I'm in my Yahoo league. I'm starting Justin Fields over Tua. Vikings are a good
That hurt
defense,
me
but I
losing
like that
him
matchup.
too in On the Money Sports. Losing him for that stretch killed me.
And
Because he
where
was
you
just
drafted him at.
starting to heat up.
Where you drafted him at.
Yeah, losing Jefferson is what they're hurting me on the Money Sports this year. On Money Sports is always the last team in my fantasy list.
On the rundown?
Yeah,
On
when
ESPN?
it's always
They're at the top now.
I don't consider the dead league anymore. Like, I swear I don't even click on that tab.
I play
bro.
you in that league.
I literally
this week.
stop at On Money Sports.
That's a free pass this week,
Yeah.
I guess. I got a couple free passes in a couple of leagues, but I have some tough matchups as well too. But I gotta go up against Jake in On the Money Sports, and I know that Jake has been, I don't know what the hell happened to his team, but he's like on like a 5-game losing streak. He lost.
Yeah, I beat him 2
the
weeks
division
ago.
to Danny. Danny is like one of the most dangerous players in that league because he.
Yeah, the first overall pick, right?
Yes.
A lot of number 1 overall picks this year. Actually, teams, they have better teams.
Those who didn't go Jefferson.
Yeah.
Because if you're in a 2-quarterback league and you have the number 1 pick, you're not necessarily looking at it the same way. You're looking for the quarterback. And there's a lot of people who in their 2-quarterback leagues might have gone Mahomes at the 101, and that has served to be not that great. Like, I don't know what he ended with this past week because I traded him, so I don't really keep up with him after I trade him. Like, once you're out of here, you're out of here. I don't keep up with it unless I got to play you. I don't see him on my docket or anything like that. I don't know. I don't think anybody I have is going to have him this week, which I'm relieved for because he goes up against the Raiders. So it could potentially be a better game for him. But again, it's like, just throw the ball to Rashee Rice, bro, because all these other guys are fucking clowns.
I mean, he leads the team in receiving, dude. And I understand he
no,
only leads
like,
the team
it's a
because
no-brainer.
Kelsey was out for a couple weeks, but still, like, the kid can play football.
And they take Rashee Rice out of so many snaps. It doesn't make sense to me. Like,
no,
I see him coming off the field after one play. I'm just like,
I
who are
don't
you
get
going to – oh, so you're not going to throw it, I guess? Like,
This right
so
now
you're making your
reminds
offense
me-
more predictable?
Yeah.
It reminds me of the Andy Reid, James Thrash and Freddie Mitchell and Torrance Small.
Well,
And
Pacheco had a good day. Like, to your
Yeah,
credit, you
yeah,
called it. I didn't
yeah.
see it happening, but Pacheco
over
ran
46
hard and
and a
had a
half.
good
Yeah,
day.
he had 65 or 75 rushing yards, I think. I told you, man, over 50.
They
50.
He needed a receiver to catch a ball, and they just couldn't do it, bro. Like, they couldn't do it. And then Kelsey with the fumble. At that point, the Chiefs are about to score a touchdown, and that's going to be a huge touchdown for the remainder of the game. That was going to basically solidify the game moving forward. The fact that he fumbles, they just continued to find ways to give an opportunistic Philadelphia team new life.
Yeah.
And that's how you lose football games. When you keep
that
giving
was
the other team
frustrating.
opportunities like that.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Listen, man, I talk shit on Philly every single chance I get. I love it. It literally brings joy to my heart, right? But a team like Philadelphia, with the way they're built right now, you keep letting them hang around, and they're going to find a way to beat you. Like, they will do that.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, and no matter what people say, no matter what, you could say they win ugly. Guess what? When your team wins ugly, you don't say shit.
No, you're
you
not.
take the
Yeah.
win, and you tell people, hey, a win is a win.
I do
So-
think the luck runs out at some point, you know what I mean? And we'll see what kind of team they are once the luck really starts to run
Football
out.
teams have to be ready to execute.
But
like,
yeah.
when the big showdown, the showdown between the Eagles and the 49ers have to be ready to execute. If the Detroit Lions are able to get to the NFC title game and we get Lions versus Philly in Philly, most likely, which is where it's going to be,
Right.
the Lions need to be able to execute in that game.
Yeah. 100%,
Otherwise,
man.
like they're
I'll tell you
going to
what,
take
man,
advantage of your
again,
mistakes and they're going to win.
I hate Philly and I hate Sirianni, but that dude, I mean, he was born to coach that team.
Joe Giglio is going off on him.
I think Sirianni
Joe
was
said
born
he's
to
a
coach
clown
the
and he hates his sideline antics.
I agree.
He hates how he
I
acts.
kind of hate all of it too. But that guy is the epitome. Like, when
gotta
Eagles fans see that, did you see what he
You gotta
did
beat
leaving
him.
the game, going through when he was walking through the tunnel? I mean, it looks like an Eagles fan coaching the team.
Yeah.
That's like an Eagles fan coaching his team, pretty much. He was a
It's-
perfect
it's-
fit.
I
dude.
get it. I get it now. I didn't understand it when he first got hired. I was like, yo, what are the Eagles doing?
Yeah, it didn't make sense to me.
But
Flower
The
power,
more
none
I
of it made
see
sense.
I was like, oh,
Are you
okay.
fertilizing your flowers?
Yeah.
Like it's the energy, bro.
Yeah,
And
it's
not
the-
for nothing. There's a lot of players that buy into him more than some players are buying into other coaches around the league. I tell you that.
I bet
He got them
there's
boys
more
playing.
players in that locker room buying into him than there's more players in the Giants locker room buying
He had
into him.
Jalen Carter trying to get a pick off of a spiked ball. Can you imagine if he got that interception? What we'd be saying here? Like, that would have been crazy.
That would have been hilarious, bro, if he would have got that.
And guess what? They got the
Hilarious.
Buffalo Bills this week, and the Bills are frauds. So,
Yeah.
like, what happens now?
Listen,
What are you gonna do now? You know,
I need Josh Allen to come through in Dynasty this week.
oh, we're talking fantasy. Like, if we're talking fantasy, I don't give a shit who wins the game. To be honest, we need Hurts, we need Allen, we need Diggs,
Right.
we need AJ Brown. You know what I mean? Like, we need the Bills and the Eagles
This guy.
to be the fantasy
Fucking
football
Vincent Cook.
plethora, bro. We need this to be the fantasy football Super Bowl game of the week. We need the over to be over 48. We need touchdowns. We need stacks. We need bonuses. All of it needs to come from that 425 showdown. I will be pissed off if that game.
I thought that was a Sunday night game.
No, that's 425. Sunday Night Football is that's some bullshit. I can't remember right now.
I got you, man. I got
I'm
you.
drawing a
man.
blank. What is it? Is it the Broncos and the Browns? No, that's 1:00. I'm just saying, with the amount of stake I have invested in these two football teams, for them to be playing each other,
Ravens Chargers Sunday night.
I like
Good
that.
game. Good game.
I like that. Okay. All right. So we're actually going to have a pretty good slate on Sunday.
Yeah, you know, I'm looking
was-
at it now. It's really not that bad.
Yeah. You know what? You're right. Because my whole thing is, we're going to have less games on Sunday. But you know what happens on Sunday? I get overwhelmed. And I can't keep up with everything that's happening. So I am looking, and I'm going off what you guys are saying, and then I'm going back home and watching this shit hours later after it happens. So the fact that there's less games, I think, helps me to monitor what's going on.
We got 6 games at 1, 3 games at 4, then your Sunday nighter. And the 1 o'clock games ain't all that. Like Steelers Bengals should be okay, and the Texans Jaguars are probably the best 2 games. And then the 4 o'clock slate is good. Browns, Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, Bills, Eagles. That's a great slate for 4 o'clock.
It's a good slate. It's a good slate.
To end the night with Ravens, Chargers. Monday night, Bears, Vikings.
And lounge is open.
Should be.
Okay.
All right. So it's gonna be. So Chris is saying Vikings ain't it, and Rick is saying that Monday Night Football was the highest rated Monday Night Football game since 1996.
I did hear about that a couple days ago.
They smashed records on Monday Night Football. Not for nothing. It was a good game. There was frustrating plays, but it was a Super Bowl matchup that we were excited for, and it was an ending that I didn't expect, and it gave you the drama. It gave you all the drama in the world. The MVS drop touchdown made everybody react, whether you're a Chiefs fan, an Eagles fan,
I couldn't believe
it. My jaw just
dropped. I'm looking at the
like,
TV.
how do you do that, bro? Like that drop right there was the nail in the coffin of the MVS story.
Career, his career. Like he's boom or bust always. And even with Rodgers, he dropped passes like that, open 80, 70 yards down the field, and the guy and Rodgers drops it in the breadbasket, and it goes right to the guy's hand.
And Pat Mahomes is probably thinking like, "Yo, what the fuck, bro?
What more does he want to do?" And credit to a guy like Pat Mahomes, and of course they're gonna say stuff like that. He was like, "Maybe I could have took a little bit less off the ball and put it more in his chest." I'm like, dude.
At that point,
there was nothing you could have done better.
He just puts his hands on his head and keeps looking at the sidelines, like, "Yo, like what the?"
And then the very next play, Justin Watson drops the first down.
Eric Bieniemy though. Eric Bieniemy not being there.
He got Sam Howell.
Listen, they're moving the ball. These guys are dropping the passes.
Hey, Justin Watson got 11 targets.
And he dropped 2 of them.
They need a wide receiver because now you've got Justin Watson out there getting 11 targets, bro. Like they need somebody.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
There's no business for that.
Man.
He's getting 11 targets, and you still can't trust him because it's Justin freaking Watson.
Obviously, they're going to be, their pick is going to be in the late 20s of the draft. But if there's a wide receiver there for him, that's who they need to get.
Chiefs fans, listen to me. All right, you guys don't really have a 1 wide receiver. Okay, you know that you don't have a real wide receiver 1. You have a Travis Kelce that is distracted by other things. He's still Travis Kelce, but he's obviously distracted. Give Rashee Rice the ball. Just give him targets. Give Rashee Rice 11 targets like you gave Watson and see what happens. Instead of pulling him out of plays, leave him in there. Because the guys that you're leaving in there aren't making the catches.
And you know what else? I think they need to start leaving Pop in those third downs, man. I get having McKinnon out there for when they want to pass it and stuff like that. But Pop's doing a really good job at picking up the blitzes lately.
McKinnon is a Chiefs staple.
He is, man.
McKinnon is their Sammy Watkins from a couple years ago. Like he's their Sammy Watkins. He's always going to be
the Lizard King.
He's always going to be in the mix. I called him the Red Vulture when I had him on my team. Like he's just always going to be involved in the Chiefs offense.
I don't blame him. I really don't, man. I just like the way like Pop's understanding of the game. You can see it like every week.
Do you think he just needs to improve on his pass catching ability so that he can
that would make him like one of the best all around running backs.
He's trying to turn him into Brian Westbrook.
He runs freaking hard. Like
dude,
he runs violently.
It's insane, bro. It's almost like you can feel his steps every time he's
he rage runs.
Yeah, it's insane, bro. It's just I don't know how the kid does it, man. It's awesome to see him play.
No, I love seeing it when he gets the ball because it's just because
he's gonna hurt. Like he's out there to hurt somebody. Yeah.
But if you add the whole pass catching element, like how would it be for him to just go off to the side and be out? Like Mahomes needs an outlet right now.
He's working on it. You see, he called. I think he had 4 targets and 3 catches that game Monday night. So he's working on it.
He needs somebody to catch the freaking ball.
Yeah.
Somebody.
He just needs a possession wide receiver, man. He needs.
They should have kept Smith-Schuster. Even though he ain't doing shit in New England.
Yeah. I mean,
but no receivers doing anything.
Yeah, he probably would have did more in Kansas City. But
he almost had 1,000 yards.
What, last year?
Yeah. And he had like 9 touchdowns.
He was probably asking for too much, man.
They get Patriots gave him 3 years, 30.
That's too much. He's not worth $10 million a year.
The next
could
couple
use
of
them.
weeks.
No,
are
they
gonna
could,
be a lot
but
of
he's just-
matchups like the Bills Eagles. You've got next week. You've got Bills Chiefs, I believe, for the week after that. Soon you're gonna have 49ers versus Eagles. So a lot of the contenders.
The Bills
are gonna be
season is
playing
on the
each other.
line.
Oh yeah,
You think so
100%.
against the Eagles?
100%.
And then the Chiefs, like, bro, it could be
You
5
gotta
and
you gotta
7.
go 1-1. You can't if you lose to both, bro. It's done. Because they'll be 5 and 7.
If they're gonna lose one, it has to be to Philly because
They've
that
already
game doesn't
lost,
mean as
bro.
much as the
They've
Chiefs
already
game.
had 5 AFC losses. 5.
Bro.
They can't lose to the Chiefs, even though they probably
They
are
still have to
against
play
the Chiefs.
Miami one more time. I know they beat Miami
In
the first
Miami.
time, but yeah, that changes things.
Because the last one was in Buffalo.
Yes. And they completely took advantage of home field advantage, as you should. And the last time they played the Dolphins, their defense was a lot healthier than it is right now.
Somebody said, because reward for, I saw a picture, reward for Von Miller for stealing money from the Bills at age 34.
Fleeced.
Nah, I wouldn't say that, man. He
That's
got
brutal.
hurt. They
I
gave
thought
him
that
the
was
contract.
wild. They gave him that money at 34
Yeah,
years old, bro.
I wouldn't have gave him all that money. You know
That
what
was
I mean?
wild.
But he looked good. That
The
first
Cowboys
year.
wanted him,
I
and the
know.
Cowboys weren't willing to give him the contract he wanted. Because even they were smart enough to say, like, dude, you're like about to hit 34, 35. Like,
But he did look good though that first year. He looked good in
Yeah,
the
but-
playoffs, and then he gets hurt. You know, so that's tough. That's tough.
All right, so here's a couple of questions. Some questions that I'm going to throw out there to whoever's watching along right now. Some fantasy football-based stuff. What is the spiciest start that you are making this week? What is the start that you're making that you probably know you shouldn't do it, but you just can't resist?
Brian Robinson Jr.
Yeah?
Now,
You start him
he's-
tomorrow?
I think I am, man. I'm not gonna start him in every league,
Right.
but
That's a tough one, man.
he's RB4 right now in the year, and I just got a funny feeling about that.
Cowboys
game.
aren't letting anybody run the football.
I
right now.
know, man, but I don't know something.
I get it.
It's spicy start. That's all. Spicy start.
Okay, so if anybody has a spicy start in the comments section, drop it. Let us know. Also, what has been the most helpful tool for you for fantasy this season? What's been able to help you guide? What's been able to help guide you through one of the wildest fantasy seasons in history, besides like the COVID year, pretty much?
I wouldn't say there's a tool. Like I haven't. There's no like specific website I'm using or anything like
What
that.
good is Jamar Chase to me right now?
I don't know. You gotta ask the guys who accepted
Yeah,
those
man.
trades, man. Yo, man.
Why don't we talk about the trade that you did? How about that?
I mean, it's not that different. It's
How
really
about-
your names just look better than my names.
This
players
man
are
wants
better.
to trade me Jamar
I
Chase
said- I
and
said
Chuba
he
Hubbard
better
for
play.
AJ Brown and Jerome Ford. Yeah, that's wild.
Who said that?
Alexi.
Terrell.
I was about to say Terrell. Yeah.
Chuba Hubbard and who?
Chase.
And
For
okay,
AJ and
Chase,
Jerome Fowler.
Jamar Chase is Jamar Chase. Totally get it. But Chuba Hubbard for Ford?
Decline.
I'll let it sit there. I would just let it sit there. That's why me and him got into
He
that
hates
argument
He
yesterday.
hates it. He hates it.
And then he's trying to throw in my face that Kareem Williams lost a job, and 2 hours later they're cutting RBs because Kareem Williams.
Kyron Williams didn't lose his job. He got hurt. What's crazy is that they cut Darrell Henderson over Zach Evans.
That is crazy.
You picked up Darrell Henderson, and Zach Evans didn't even sniff the field.
Right.
And now you're going to cut Henderson and keep Evans? Like, what?
Chacho.
That makes no sense whatsoever.
The only thing they got going for
Didn't
them
I
is
say
Kyron
yesterday
Williams.
I don't do negotiations with that guy? Listen, I'm not going
I
to
don't-
bash because me and Terrell have made a couple of trades in the span of 3 or 4 weeks that I have no problem with, and I got value out of it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made the trade. So I'm staying out of it right now. I know that it's a trade deadline, and there's going to be a lot of crazy trades going around willy-nilly. I'm just trying to get mine right now so that I can sit back.
Yeah, I don't
and
negotiate
gear up for
with
the
Terrell,
playoff
man.
run.
I really try not to. I even made the mistake of trying to get him involved in a 3-team trade with me, him, and Nolan.
Oh, I haven't done one of those yet.
we got close, but then Terrell completely flipped the script and wanted the best player out of the day. I'm like, wait a minute,
that's pivots, bro.
Yeah, that's not even why we wanted you here in the first place.
There's got to be a bigger word for pivot, though. It's not pivot. He does something else, but he kind of is like, nope, and then he just takes it to a place where you can't follow.
He's the absolute worst, bro. He's the absolute worst when it comes to negotiating, dude.
I feel like Noli is scared to negotiate for me. I don't know what it is. Like, he just doesn't. I don't feel like he makes trades like that. Honestly,
he's
super
meticulous when it comes.
Yeah, he does like the calculated risk type of trades. Where it's like he has to know it's gonna work out. He's not even gonna.
He's Galifianakis with everything, with all the numbers going through his head. And
I've noticed that in the 3 years that I've been in the East Coast Champs League, I'm noticing like with him, it's like.
He's super calculated.
He might speak about making a trade, but it's gonna take a while to actually. Yeah,
it'll be 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah. He's a little bit like this guy over here. He reminds me kind of like Oscar.
But Noli will pull the trigger eventually, though. Noli will pull the trigger as to where Oscar would just sit on the shit or just not even bother.
He'll wait until the trade deadline and be like, "Yo,
Brown, like right now, like
AJ Brown is available. So if you want AJ Brown, send me an offer."
Yeah,
like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Like, most of us are either not in the mix or we already pretty much figured shit out without AJ Brown. Yeah. So, like, I'm going to give you Stephon Diggs for AJ Brown right now. Like, I'm not doing that right now. They're of equal value, but why would I make that trade? For that, I just keep Diggs. Because, like, what would I give up for AJ Brown at this moment? I don't know. I will say he is officially my start of the week because we saw last week he didn't get fed, and he probably
he's going to tear it up.
He went into the locker room.
AJ Brown's going to tear it up this week.
And he cut a promo on whoever he needed to cut a promo on. He threw
like 8 shoulder pads and 18 helmets.
And the Buffalo Bills don't have anybody who can deal with him like the Chiefs do.
I don't know if you want to trade him, man. He's going off this week.
Because you could use that as a selling point if you want to trade him. But I think that AJ Brown is the start of the week.
Williams?
AJ Brown pissed me off on Monday.
That is a joke, right?
What the hell do you want for AJ Brown? Damn it, he's my best running back.
He doesn't know. He wants you to send it.
Yeah,
so that he can see
I
it.
Decide.
He doesn't know what he wants. He's gonna end up keeping AJ Brown.
Probably.
You just need in sick picks. You just need a win right now. You're 5-6 right now. So if you get a win, you move to 6-6.
And I was like at one point 6-3.
Yeah,
are you?
You went backwards, and I'm number 3 now after going 2-4. My team's one of the hottest teams in the league right now. I got like a 4-game winning streak in sick picks.
Alexi's projected to beat me after our trade.
I've lost 2 in a row.
That's nuts. So the trade was Aaron Jones and Garrett Wilson for.
I traded Aaron Jones and Garrett Wilson for Jaylen Warren, Demario Douglas, and Brandon Cooks. Okay, like
Aaron Jones might be out for the year. But
listen, they say he's limited in practice.
They say
he's obviously not playing this week.
Say.
But
my guy,
man,
put on the ski mask.
You dropped Quentin Johnson quick as hell. You dropped Quentin Johnson quick as hell.
Yeah, I mean, he was the weakest link at that.
You know what? I don't blame him for that because at this point,
he dropped
we're going into week 12.
That not in sick picks, but I had him starting in other places.
You must have been furious.
I was
that.
literally furious.
That was
bro.
a bonus pick.
You started quitting in 3 spots.
In 3 leagues. And I was sick, bro. Sick, bro. I'm pretty sure True Money was one of them. No, not True Money.
Went from chicken salad to chicken shit. I think we got a new phrase. I think I inadvertently created a new phrase for moving forward.
We're hashtagging it.
Yeah, chicken salad to chicken shit, bro. Quentin Johnson. First-round rookie wide receiver drafted by the Chargers, a player that we talked about on this podcast back in August, a player that we aligned right with Jordan Addison when we were talking about a lot of these rookies.
He's been so TCU, bro.
Lost out there. He is on their depth chart like their wide receiver 4 or 5.
And we knew as people, we knew this was happening or gonna happen as far as the opportunity for this kid. It was gonna happen. Mike Williams can never stay healthy. Keenan Allen is always a play away from being done for the year. Joshua Palmer's on the IR. Guyton's not getting any burn. It was only a matter of time before Quentin Johnson
just got hurt. Their coach is an idiot.
Yeah,
they go for it on 4th down.
Listen,
like, there's so many reasons why the Chargers
and the kid dropped 3 passes last week, and the one big one came at the end of the game.
The bonus.
I mean, he was wide
bonus.
Open.
That touchdown would have made
wide open.
That
bro.
touchdown would have made your week in all three. I don't know what the scores were, but I'm pretty sure that would have been 3 touchdowns across the board for you, and it would have helped you immensely. And he literally just drops this shit.
I was sick, dude.
That drop was as bad, if not worse, than the MVS drop.
Yeah,
they're on par.
They're on par. Yeah.
Because there's nothing you can do about that. No defender was touching the ball. Like that's the ball only touched your hands,
bro.
Right? You couldn't come in with it.
That was horrible. It was horrible.
And that was his opportunity to be able to finally have that moment this year. Because in September, the analysts were saying like, "Yo, this kid is like Guyton and Palmer, and those boys are getting more snaps than him.
Yeah.
He's not getting it. He's not getting it. The Chargers
lost
offense is too much
crazy.
for him.
It's crazy, man.
My dad lost to Bobby by 4 points.
Wow.
It's Herbert. Herbert
Quentin
gets the touchdown.
Johnson gets it.
Herbert gets the touchdown pass. That's bonus points for Herbert, and your dad manages to win, and that's the difference between going 6-5 and 5-6, right?
Yep.
Because he's 5-6 right now. He's like
he got a combined 8.1 from Derrick Henry and Aaron Jones because Jones got hurt and Henry just didn't do nothing.
Well, I started Aaron Jones and Devon Achane in the same lineup.
Oh, East Coast, right?
Yeah, and Achane got me 1 point something. Aaron Jones got hurt. Just
that's rough.
Disaster. Like that. I've never managed a team with so many injuries, bro. A lot of the fab that I put back into the pot was to be able to buy more time to keep myself alive. Because without that, I wouldn't have been able to go and get the Achanes and those types of guys.
There with Dre.
Bro, everybody went down. Everybody.
I know that pain though, man.
Connor was out
everywhere.
Waddle was just not involved.
He's not having a very productive.
These are guys that I drafted. Kirk Cousins hasn't been here for about a month.
It's rough, dude. I feel you, dude. I had Joe Burrow in 6 leagues.
If I'm able to beat Willie this week and go 6-6, I can breathe.
Right.
And then just regroup.
Willie's coming on strong right now, bro. He's like on a 5 or 6 game win streak.
Oh, yeah, he's on a roll.
Well, he just lost to Noli, right? He just lost to Noli.
He was in the basement with Dre.
Yeah. And now it's Georgie all by himself, or maybe Dre's by himself.
Yeah, so this game is a big matchup for me because it's been tough sledding with all these injuries.
Dre's by himself, Georgie. Yeah, it's starting to shape up now. See how it says 10? We haven't seen a 10 there all year.
Yeah.
So this is officially the basement.
Georgie, you got the ties. You got the ties up at the top. Mm-hmm. That's been a thing all year with that.
Yeah, that league's like
Shout
that.
Shout out to East Coast champs.
Yeah, this is literally the most competitive league I'm in.
The final stretch right now. A few of the leagues are getting pretty competitive. The sick
the
sick picks playoff race is getting interesting.
It's getting spicy.
Because you got the 5-win teams, the 4-win teams, all kind of bunched up in there right now.
Right.
And some of them play each other. Alexi's team has been on the decline, so he's like in 9th spot. In my opinion, I think he traded himself out of the playoffs completely.
Oh, I didn't realize I moved up to the 4th spot.
Yeah, I'm in 3. You're in 4.
Yeah, I was in 9th place last week, and I moved up to the 5th.
Yeah.
Zing.
I was able to beat Team Cook up.
Let me find out I can make it to the 3rd place if you keep fucking around.
I'm not fucking around. I won 4 in a row.
I know.
That's y'all fucking around. I see a lot of L's all down the line.
Hey,
that's y'all fucking around.
I won a 3-game winning streak, man.
And it's crazy.
Alexi, watch out, damn it.
It's crazy because my sick picks team was literally one of my least favorite teams. I was telling you guys in the group chat, I was like, yo, I don't like this team. Like, ew, why did I get Lamb and Diggs? Like, I was just, and they
going to the playoffs in Dynasty, bro. I can
turn it around for me.
Yeah, they've been having good years.
7-4 in Dynasty.
Oh, champions?
Dynasty,
yeah.
I'm middle of the pack in Dynasty too, man.
How do you know you clinched?
It has a little asterisk next to your number or next to your name. It'll have the asterisk there to let you know that you clinched. Just like it has the asterisk in all the money sports.
You and Nick clinched so far.
Yeah. And I beat Nick. So if he slips up and I get
if I get a win, I get my 8th victory. I beat.
Most likely you'll clinch this week, depending on who else loses and wins.
Right.
But this week is going to be a lot of playoff clinching matchups. So it's a big week for fantasy football because the separation between the winning teams and the losing teams is what gets you that asterisk next to your name. Because you've only got 3 weeks left. After this week, it'll be 2 weeks, and you can't make up that much ground in that amount of time.
Me and you both, Chris. I need to beat Alexi this week. I don't know who you're playing this week, but I need that dub too, brother.
Yes, because in sick picks, I'm only 6-5 in the 3rd seed, so I I need to win still because the margin for error is very, very like short.
Oh, you're playing Mugga. That should be a bye week. Mugga is 2-9 right now.
He's having a terrible time.
Yeah, he is.
He's having a terrible time.
Feel bad for him.
All right, so I'm going to do a little bit of a no sweat start versus high risk gamble with some of these names, and I'm going to see what you guys think. I'm going to start first off with Deontay Johnson in the new look Steelers offense. You think he's a no sweat start or a high risk gamble at this point?
I'm going to say high risk gamble. I can't say no sweat because Pickett's just not playing well, and we don't know what to expect from the new offensive scheme. So Oscar might be able to shed a little bit more light on that, but I don't know what to expect from that new.
I have no idea what to expect.
I don't fuck with Deontay like that.
Deontay drops it.
I like Deontay Johnson, like but the problem with Deontay Johnson is he just makes crucial drops. Like because he doesn't even drop the ball a lot, but when he does, it's in a spot where you're like,
has he been dropping the ball this year like that?
He dropped a touchdown on Sunday.
No way.
Right? He dropped a touchdown.
Damn, okay.
And he was spazzing on the sideline too, so it was a rough day for him.
Yeah,
like,
that sucks.
It was a repull to AJ Brown on Sunday, and
we're all 65, I think.
My next one is Jamar Chase. No sweat start or a high risk gamble. Same matchup.
Gotta be high risk, bro. What the fuck? What do you expect from Browning? I don't expect nothing from that kid. I really don't expect nothing.
I'd rather start Browning over Boyle. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but why? Why would those guys be your options too, like,
bro? It's ugly out here. Look at all the quarterbacks that got hurt.
I mean, I know. You know, this is a record-breaking year for the NFL where they've had 15 backup quarterbacks start a game this year.
So I'm saying, like, it like a lot of people
literally
have
half
these
the
guys
league to having to start
right now.
Backup quarterbacks.
Terrell dropped $85 fab on Browning, so.
I think he did that just to kind of do it. Like we're coming towards the end of the year.
In the super flex league that we're in, we have $150 fab budget.
And mind you, the guy has 6 quarterbacks already. Like, what are you going to do with him?
And because you should put a limit on that.
Yeah, but it's hard to put a limit in Dynasty.
4 quarterbacks tops.
In Superflex,
Dynasty
have at
league,
least 5. She gets spooky out here.
Yeah, you can't do
that. 5. 6.
Well, he's doing that, but the trade deadline's about to end, ain't it?
Yeah, but the problem with Terrell though is that he's not realistic with his trades neither. Like he'll pick up Browning, he wants a 2-back for him. Like there's only 4 rounds in our draft. You'll be lucky to get a 4th round pick for the guy. Like, come on, what do you think? Who's trading for Browning?
I'm actually excited for that.
No one's going to keep Browning because after the year he's useless because.
So then, what are you spending $85 fab on him for? You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing that for?
He got nothing better to do with his money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're coming towards the end of the year. He figured he got to use his money, and if somebody wants him this week, they'll send him a pick for it. That's his mindset. I can guarantee you that's probably Terrell's mindset, and I guarantee you he wants a 2 for him. Guarantee you.
Oh, he's hot. He had a touchdown and a half. He's part of one of the most prolific offenses in football.
Yeah,
Rashid Shaheed. With Mike Thomas now on IR.
Yeah, so me and you were having that conversation about Shaheed the other day, and with no Thomas there, you know what I said? What he gets 3 or 4 targets a game. They might up that to 6 or 7, so that's going to give him more opportunities to bust this week. Or excuse me, boom.
Yeah. That's on Derek Carr though, bro.
It is. It really is. You know what I mean? Like, it's tough.
If anything, I'm excited to have Chris Olave because I think Chris Olave is going to be peppered.
Yeah, I think Chris Olave is going to get everything this week. So it's hard to call Shaheed a no sweat start, but at the same time, it's not too high risk neither because you know the opportunities there.
Yeah.
So
less risky than the other 2, would you say?
Yeah, I would.
Bro.
I would say that. No Michael Thomas, man. No Michael Thomas. Their tight end isn't playing well this year. That tight end position really isn't playing well this year. And ever since Kamara came back, he's been the focal point. So, you know, if the team wants to defend Kamara and stack the box, the only options are to go to Olave and Shaheed and A.T. Perry. You know what I mean?
Kamara, baby. Tua Tagovailoa.
No sweat, man.
Just start him. Not even think about it.
Unless you have Stroud or Goff or someone like that as a backup.
I'm starting Fields over him.
Yeah, that's not a bad one. I like the matchup. I like the matchup. Yeah.
I have no better option. In the League of Boom, I have Tua, Brock Purdy, and Minshew. And
I'd probably start Tua over Minshew.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna because I have Tariq Hill, so I'm gonna start the stack and
And
whatever
that's
I
another
get
thing
is what
too.
I
If you
get.
have Hill and Tua and you're gonna start Hill, you might as well start Tua too. Because
Well, I
if
have Hill and Tua in the Yahoo League as well, but I just really like I like Justin Fields and the Monday night matchup
so
way
you're gonna
better.
start Fields and Hill.
Yeah, I'm
How you gonna
starting
do that
Fields and I'm keeping Hill.
That's
in
tough,
there.
man. Because if Hill has a great day, then you know that Tua's getting him the ball, and
He's
that's
potentially gonna
Yeah,
be
he's
able to
gonna
have
have
a
a
great
big
day.
boom day.
I don't know. I need to see one more week because the thing with the Jets defense is they might end up getting tired of carrying the freaking team.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be going up against some pretty good offenses. Not to mention they have to play Miami twice still, which they haven't done. So I don't know what that matchup is gonna look like. I'm starting Tua in all the money sports and in League of Boom, but I am benching him in that one league because
I love my League of
I
Boom
like
team,
the upside of
my League of Boom
Fields.
team is nasty.
With Fields back, I should be all right. Fields and Dak Prescott.
What league?
League of Boom.
Oh yeah. You'll be able to right the ship a little bit with the evil.
I don't
horde.
even know who to start on a weekly basis. That's how good this team is, honestly. Now, with Chase getting hurt we'll find out this week how this team perseveres, this particular fantasy team. With no Burrow, with Chase not having no Burrow. So
but my whole thing is like, okay, I get it, no Joe Burrow, I get it. Browning is not Burrow, but Chase is still the wide receiver one. So if we're
he has a
talking
stiff
fantasy,
back too. He does have a stiff back. Let's not forget that the guy is playing banged up.
like if we're talking fantasy football, my whole thing is like, shouldn't he be like if anybody's gonna eat, right? Or is it gonna be Joe Mixon? Like is he gonna be the one?
Does T. Higgins come back and eat this week?
Yeah, or does this become like a T. Higgins type of game against Pittsburgh? This week?
Who's to say that Browning and Higgins don't have a fucking connection for whatever reason?
Do you think Browning has better numbers than Pickett?
I don't want to comment.
Probably.
That's crazy.
Yeah, probably.
Jesus.
Yeah, probably. Sorry, old money.
Ugly times, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's only because they have a better situation in Cincy as far as that offense goes. Like from coordinator all the way down to the offensive line, I think. So
it's wild that it's Pickett versus Browning in a huge AFC North matchup.
Yeah,
like it's big for it's big for the Bengals, it's big for the Steelers, it's big for the Ravens, and it's big for the Browns. Like it's a huge matchup with everybody.
If we can beat the Bengals, we effectively pretty much end them.
That'd be crazy.
Potentially, yeah. The bullet is coming eventually. We just don't know who's going to give it to him.
And what's crazy is that even if Cincy wins this game, which is a kind of a must-win for them if they want to be alive or have be in the playoff conversation, but them losing to Houston was big, dude. Because even if they win this week,
it's gonna be traced back to that game.
Yeah, everything will get traced back. If they end up being like super on the bubble, that Houston game is what they got to trace back to, and probably what keeps them out of the playoffs anyway.
Yeah. Yep. And then my last one is AJ Dillon tomorrow, Thanksgiving.
Well, is he healthy enough? He's been limited in practice the last couple of days.
I think he's healthy enough to start, which is I don't know how much because not for nothing he's been terrible when Aaron.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was literally gonna say that.
The other way around.
Last year he showed some flashes of like, all right, if Aaron Jones goes down, that to me that's why I even nicknamed him the ultimate handcuff in one of the leagues. I might have been, I think it's in Superflex, but the guy, I thought he was the ultimate handcuff. He's just proving not to be that. So I don't know.
He's drizzling shit sometimes. Are the Packers about to get murdered on Thanksgiving?
There's a very good chance that they do. There's a good chance that Goff and St. Brown carve him up.
I kind of want to start Jaden Reed. I think I'm going to start him anyway. In
garbage
Dynasty.
time.
Because in Dynasty, I got a bye week anyway, so I might just throw him out there.
I mean, it's been proven that you can throw on Detroit. They're a good defense, but they make mistakes. They make mental mistakes.
They're in Detroit, too. They're hosting a Thanksgiving game. That crowd
it's going to be electric. It's going to be electric, and I'm super happy for Detroit. And I do think they're going to win, and I think they win probably by more than a touchdown.
Honestly, they might have the best crowd out of the three matchups tomorrow because, their fan base has been starving for this shit.
Yeah,
San Francisco is always there. When Seattle misses, it's not for long. Right. Dallas, their fans will be hyped or whatever. I don't know where's the Washington Dallas game going to be? Dallas. No, I think Detroit Stadium is going to be rocking more than any of the other three because those
and it's Green Bay, bro.
And it's Green Bay.
Yes.
You're 8-2. You have a chance to go 9-2 with 10 days off after that. a commanding lead in the NFC North after watching the Vikings go down on Monday Night Football. This game right here is going to basically, everybody's going to know after this game, like, yo, we're going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And when we get to the playoffs, there's a good chance that we're going to make some noise. And guess what? We're hosting another game here in the playoffs. So we're going to see a Detroit playoff game this
That's
week.
something we should probably try and remember. I know you'll do a good job at remembering, but let's keep in mind of what we hear tomorrow in that Detroit building, and then let's keep in mind what we hear in the playoffs, because that playoff game in Detroit,
it's going to be nuts.
Those people are going to go bananas.
Absolutely freaking insane.
Speaking of Detroit, Trey, what's up? Thank you for tuning in, brother.
My boy. All right, well, last week I went 1-4 with my on the money picks.
Oh, dude, I didn't even bother
absolutely
red marking,
terrible.
Red checking, or green checking. I know
you
I
picked
did
10 last week, right?
I had to, yeah, because I fucking missed week 10, and
So I went 1-4. My overall record is now 32-23. Pretty sure that I'm still in first place right now.
Yeah, you should be.
I just need to right the ship. As you know, or I said it already, the start of the week for me is going to be AJ Brown this week. My on the money picks for this week are as follows. First and foremost, I've got the Philadelphia Eagles beating the Buffalo Bills this week in a big AFC versus NFC matchup. With my second pick, Sunday Night Football, I've got the Baltimore Ravens beating the Chargers. Number 3, Thanksgiving Day special, I've got the Lions destroying the Green Bay Packers. Number 4, I've got the Houston Texans beating the Jacksonville Jaguars and taking first place in the South. And number 5, I have got the Denver Broncos beating the Cleveland Browns in an ugly matchup.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to do a 10 picks TikTok on Sunday.
You
didn't do last week? Dang.
I had a lot going on.
I'll post my picks on
I had a lot going
on Saturday. I'm gonna
It's a busy weekend.
I'll use Sunday's picks for my on the money sports picks. And I'll post picks for tomorrow, but I'll say it right now. I got Detroit for tomorrow, Cowboys and Niners. That's what I'm going.
Any prop bets that you?
You know what? 3 of my 10,
there.
I'm going to say right now. The Lions, the Cowboys, the 49ers.
Yeah, man.
Well,
That's the way to go tomorrow. I think that's the way to go.
I got 7 more.
As far as prop bets go, I like anytime touchdowns for tomorrow, and St. Brown touchdown, Brian Robinson Jr. touchdown, and a Christian McCaffrey touchdown. That's what I like.
All right. There
Interesting.
You have it. So,
You guys ready? You guys ready for Thanksgiving tomorrow?
Oh yeah, I'm super ready.
I can't
I'm
wait.
gonna get up early.
I don't know how much food I'm gonna eat, but I'm gonna try and eat a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna get up super early. I'm gonna help out whatever needs to get helped out with. Family's gonna become.
I gotta wake up at 6. I gotta put the paning in the oven at 6 in the morning and let that thing do its thing in there. I'm gonna start frying up empanadas like around 11, and me and my dad are just gonna sit in the house and munch on empanadas and watch football and wait for dinner to be done. Pretty much.
Good day right there.
Yeah,
Shout
man.
out to Magoo.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna have the big TV, the football game on at 12:30. First, I'm gonna throw on the Thanksgiving parade in the morning because the Thanksgiving parade always reminds me of my grandma. So it's gonna be just something to have on and just think of her and like just look at some of the floats because that's something as a kid that's what we did. You know, that was our thing. So I'm gonna keep that alive and well. I'm gonna help out Heather with whatever she needs help with. Have my family come over. Her family's gonna come over, and
cool,
keeping tabs and talking shit in the group chats. You know,
this is the first year that I actually have Thanksgiving dinner at my house. So yeah, I'm pretty
this
excited.
is year 2 of doing it on Overbrook Avenue. So
Nice.
it's become the new family tradition to have it over at the house.
Nice.
So it's, I'm excited for it. We're gonna be doing turkey and ham, mixing it up a little bit. My mom is making some rice. She's making some coquito.
Ooh.
So
Yeah, we got flan, baked mac and cheese, guineo cabeche, penin, rice.
it's gonna be good shit.
Yeah, corn casserole. Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's
Gonna
good
be
day.
good shit.
Good day.
I've got about 9 or 10 beers sitting in the fridge on top of whatever my brothers decide
Yeah,
to bring.
my dad has a whole case of Miller Lite sitting on the bottom of my fridge, so we're ready to go.
and there's going to be football all day long. So it's going to be an amazing.
And we have Black
day.
Friday football. First year Black Friday football, 3:00, man. Make sure you guys tune in.
It's going to be at work. It's such a weird time to start a game.
It is.
3 o'clock
It really
on Friday,
is. Yep.
Like, what the fuck?
I am working, but I should be home before then. So
it's all right though. I don't know what happens. As long as my stack goes out there and produces, I don't actually.
You'll
have
be
to
at
watch
work
it.
during the game.
Yeah, I think I start work at like 4:00.
Okay.
And they don't have Prime at the job, so I'll just have to make sure my phone's charged. So I'll be keeping tabs on everything.
Do you have Prime? Like yourself?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We got the Amazon Prime, so I'm always able to like watch it when I'm at work. But
Right.
I'd rather just watch it at home.
Yeah,
You know what
I get it.
I gotta make some money though, because I've had a few days off.
Yeah,
I'm about to have Sunday and Monday off this week, so it's a nice.
That's why I want
want
to work Friday too, because I know I'm
yeah,
not working
like
tomorrow. I'm already missing the day.
I've been chilling, dude. Like I've been chilling. Once shit is paid off and everything's taken care of, I take the mental health time to just fucking decompress.
I get that.
Fuck that. Work is a part of my life, but it is not my life.
Yeah.
I have a whole life outside of that job.
Fuck that,
and I live it to the fullest. And I plan to do that tomorrow and this weekend. And it's going to be if the lounge is open, it's going to be very fun to catch up with everybody and be able to watch basically the outcome of, that's going to be part 2 of part 1's tomorrow and part 2 is Sunday, as far as like what our matchups are going to end up being. And we're going to have to see like who survives and how many other teams we're going to have to ring the bell on.
That's right. So like my man here said, he's living his life to the fullest every day. Make sure you guys live your life to the fullest tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. As always, the guys say it all the time. I appreciate everybody that tunes in and stuff like that. So it's awesome. We had a good night tonight. And again, man, just, happy Thanksgiving. If you're drinking, be careful, be responsible, and just spend time with family, man. Make sure you just spend time with the family and cherish everything.
Spend time with your loved ones. That's what it's all about. Enjoy the time, enjoy the food, enjoy the naps, enjoy the drinks, and make sure that if you are too drunk to drive, don't drive.
That's right.
And also, before we get off the air, please join the Nostalgic Multiverse page.
That's right.
I sent
Join
everybody invites. I am posting content.
Can I post stuff on there yet? Or what?
You should be able to. Give it a shot. You should be able to post content on there. Everybody can post content on there. Everybody who wants to be part of the page. My goal is to make that page as self-sustainable as the On the Money Sports fan forum is. You guys, the OGs of the forum, remember how it started. There was about 20 of us, and we were the only ones posting. And all of a sudden, now it's grown to 450 plus members. I want the nostalgic page to be the same thing. And then once I have everybody in there and settled in, I am going to start implementing different types of themes for different days. So we might be having wrestling Sundays, comic book Tuesdays, throwback Thursdays, a whole plethora of different things for you to be able to enjoy outside of sports itself. We know that you guys have been rocking with us for a long time. I just want to be able to give something back to you guys as far as a form of entertainment, something to help the week go by. So join the page if you have the opportunity. And if you are a part of Nostalgic Pages Online, don't be afraid to share some of the content on there and get some conversations going. And a little bit of reminiscing never hurt anybody.
That's right, man.
Until then, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back next Wednesday live here at the lounge. Minus Mike D, most likely.
Yeah, minus.
He'll be back soon.
But that's all right. He'll be in the comments. Make sure you're in the comments. Like, share, do your thing, and God bless every one of you. God bless each and every one of you, and have a great, safe Thanksgiving.
Peace.